Hey, down here. Hi. As you can see, one of those masks tried to shove me off a building, but I managed to grab onto this ledge before I fell too far, and the mask left, but I don't really have the, I'm not really in a position to pull myself up. Can you help me? Oh, thank God, thank you. But I have to do something. First, I don't know what I can do from you hanging here. So you want me to read what's on this cue card into this microphone? You know what? Sure. Whatever. Just hold the cue card still so I can read this. Warning. The Dub Talk podcast may contain language and content that may not be suitable for younger audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Listeners should please be aware that there will be spoilers for High-Rise Invasion, so they may want to watch the series first before listening to the episode. Finally, the opinions expressed belong to those of the individual participants and do not reflect the Dub Talk podcast as a whole. I'm not sure why you need me to read this here and there, but there, it's done. Would you mind helping me? Why do you have that hammer?
And welcome to Dub Talk, the podcast where we get trapped in a death game for the umpteenth time, all the while discussing the latest and greatest in English dubs. I'm Stephanie, and today I'm joined by my allies, Amon and Andrew.
The lighting in this death game is remarkably poor. Someone could hurt himself in here.
Well, they're gonna be blinded by them lights?
No, it's very dim. I might trip over something.
Oh, what do you think the light novel name for this show would be if it was given one?
The light novel name for this show?
I can't believe I picked up a yandere lesbian girlfriend in this high-rise death game.
I mean...
No, she's not even yandere. She's actually more tsundere now that I think about it.
I feel like that doesn't work only because she seems remarkably oblivious to the fact that someone has an active crush on her. She wouldn't pose that question.
Oh my god. Anyway, today, I hope you boys aren't scared of heights, because we're going to be tackling the 2021 Studio G ONA series based on the manga by Suina Miura. Wow, I can't pronounce words, I'm sorry. And published by Kodansha, High-Rise Invasion.
Studio G?
Yeah, that's the studio that's behind this one.
I think it's Zero G.
No, it's Studio G. I fucking checked. Do you want to look right now?
Yes, I got it.
Do it. While you're doing that, if you haven't heard of this...
It is Zero G.
Oh, it is Zero G?
It is Zero G.
Yep.
Did I... Oh.
It's Studio Zero G.
Wikipedia said Studio G. I'm not fucking kidding.
Wikipedia is frequently wrong.
It is frequently long. Like, I recently read a description for Convenience Store Boyfriends off of it, and I remember reading it and thinking, wow, this is just a fucking lie.
Is it a lie, or is it what the people who made the anime want you to think?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
like, they were like, oh, this is a much more romantic anime than it actually was. Almost nothing happened for most of the show. It fucking sucked.
Maybe that's just a sign of the very, very low standards they're working against. Not hard to leap over the bar if it's underground.
Okay. Anyways, if you haven't heard of now that we got apparently my stupidity out of the way, if you haven't heard of this gritty death game before, here's a little summary. I got it off ANN, and apparently they pulled it from the fucking manga. On the roof of a high-rise building, a young girl named Yuri witnesses a masked figure split a man's head open with an axe. Not exactly an everyday occurrence for a high schooler, but things get only weirder from here. Yuri soon finds herself in a strange world of skyscrapers with only two options for escape. Fight past the mysterious masked figures, or leap to her death. So, I like the phrase, but things only get weirder from here, because that is just a fucking true statement.
Wasn't it a Japanese katana? Did they make a whole deal that, like, it was a Japanese katana?
I don't remember. There's a lot of fucking weapons being used in this world, and masks are appropriately named for those fucking weapons, which is very hilarious. It's like, I don't even know. I've watched plenty of Battle Royale death game anime series at this point. And my god, the fact that this one is so self-aware of what the fuck it is, it's amazing.
I haven't seen a lot of the death battle ones, mostly because they seem to be pretty bad. And the only one that was ever recommended to me was in my friend Jeremy in college really enjoyed Future Diary, which I read a little bit of the manga of and never continued. And I know how other people feel about that, so I'm in no rush to go check that out again.
No, Future Diary is not that great.
That said,
your friend lied to you.
This is also the same friend who would, whenever like anime that was in a, whenever something that would basically get like an uncensored version on home video, he would enjoy watching the made-for-TV version because he always found their pitiful attempts at obscuring the sex happening funny. So it's very possible he enjoyed Future Diary for partially sincere reasons and partially ironic reasons.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Like,
okay, if you watch it ironically, yes, I can see that.
Boy, I sure am enjoying the shot of the moon they're showing for the next 3 minutes because they can't show what's actually happening on broadcast television.
That's amazing.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's a boy. Ah, God, my fucking head!
Damn, you peaked hard on that one.
Anyways, what I have seen, however, is I have actually watched the movie Battle Royale.
As have I.
I have not seen it.
And
actually.
on some level, you know what I feel like the people who made this took away from that movie.
What?
They took away all the parts that cut back to Beat Takeshi, who's playing like the guy who's running this organization, and all the times that his daughter calls him because it's her birthday and he is doing this instead of being at home, and her accusing him of being a useless deadbeat.
Which, I mean, he was.
You know, she was completely correct.
Amazing.
I just found it funny because I feel like these people understand that the death game works best when you kind of know it's a little stupid.
No, yeah, and I think that's what's great about this show in particular, because all the other death game genre things, they take their shit way too seriously, and because the different death games and the rules and all this fun stuff, it's absurd. It's so absurd, the shit that goes on. Anyway.
It fully understands that the death game works best as a skeleton to hang the actual meat of the show on, which is people dying and being killed in ludicrous ways.
Yes. High-Rise Invasion understands that.
I think the way is that it doesn't feel like, the show doesn't feel like it's torture porn. It just feels like it's reveling in its violence, which I think is the key to why I enjoyed this show that marketed itself as a fucking edgy, like, battle shit.
So as a side note for the folks at home, High-Rise Invasion is a Netflix exclusive show that they released back in February, the dub for. I marathoned the fuck out of this, I think, within the first few weeks that it came out when I had heard about it. And, don't play the trailer.
It's muted.
Okay.
I'm trying to find
that one specific line. But, no, I was just like, because we got together as a group, I think it was months ago. I think I had just finished High-Rise Invasion before we all chatted as a group. And I'm like, hey, would anyone like to be stupid and join me in High-Rise Invasion? And Amon just instantly volunteered. He's like, yeah, why not? And Andrew's just like, I'll do it for you. I'm like, okay.
See, my experience was... By the way, the dub didn't just come out. Like, the whole show released same time around the world in February, because it's one of those Netflix exclusive things.
That's what I'm saying. It came out.
And my experience with the show first was the one time Netflix streamed like a Japanese anime panel, which I learned two things that day. One, Japanese conferences are fucking awful. Oh my god, is the pacing of them.
Like, I mean, everything can't be Nintendo Directs.
I know it couldn't be a Nintendo Direct, but I figured, wow, these are actually terrible, and their whole presentation is about one guy, like, presenting information, and a cute girl being like, wow, that's really interesting. Ooh, tell me more.
I'll be honest, given what I know from people who have seen, like, Japanese talk shows, that sounds about right.
That sounds about right for Japan.
And it's terrible. And one of the fucking funniest things of that presentation was the world premiere of High-Rise Invasion trailer, which was hilarious. aggressively edgy, in-your-face edge, and it ended with the tagline, "Don't think, just despair, screw the rules, break them instead." And that was the moment I was off my fucking rocker. My sides were in orbit. I was like, I can't believe...
The newer trailer before it was released only used the second part of that tagline.
Also, the best part I didn't even mention is immediately after that, they had a trailer for Real Akuma and Karu, and they had somebody in the cute little Karu bear thing come out and interact with the host. Immediately after the edgy, hyper-violent high-rise invasion trailer.
That's amazing!
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Anyways, we've been rambling on for a hot minute.
I just want to say I like that tagline because having watched the show, what rules are there to break exactly?
What fucking rules? Apparently whatever it fucking wants.
If you're not a mask, your goal is don't die.
Your goal is
beyond that, you can basically do what you want. So
yeah, like it's kind of crazy.
I feel like maybe whoever made the trailer had not seen the show or was not given a lot of actual information about it ahead of time.
Probably not. They were only given like bare minimum shit.
If for no other reason, if you wanted to sell people on the show, you should just show the clip that got posted in our friend Megan's Discord around the time that came out of one cop pushing the other one off the seal of the roof, and the other cop just yelling about as he plummets to his death, finally yelling, it's coming up so fast, and then
yeah, that's episode 1, guys.
Episode 1. That it was like
episode 1 in probably the first like 10-15 minutes.
Pretty much.
Like, if that doesn't tell you what you could possibly be in for this show, I don't know what fucking will. Anyway. As always, we're going to be covering the series from front to back, discussing characters, casting, and performances. And this is a very interesting situation. So, Netflix is usually really good about crediting their actors, right? Which is great. It's awesome. High-Rise Invasion is an interesting story. They credited their main cast per episode, and then the extra people involved were set in like an additional voices section and no characters attached. So, some of these characters at the time of this recording weren't confirmed until I had to dig that up myself. Like, because either the actors had confirmed that they were some of these additional cast members at this point, or, and I have to give a huge thank you for this one, I reached out to Ruben Lack, who's a manager over at SDI Media, and he was actually the operational manager for this project in particular, and he confirmed a bunch of missing pieces for me because there's so many fun characters to talk about. So very huge shout out and thank you to Ruben for helping solve some fun little questions I might have on the casting of this. But anyway, so all I can suggest now is that you don't look down because it's really friggin' high up here. So
the breeze is great, though.
The breeze is great. Why don't we get started with our ADR director and they're labeled as adapters, so they would be considered...
They're the scriptwriters.
They're the scriptwriters in this situation. So our ADR director and scriptwriters, because there's one person who pulls double duty here, our ADR director and one of our writers is Megan Buckles. She has written and directed for series such as Beastars, Dorohedoro, and Violet Evergarden. And for our other scriptwriter, who effectively, based on credit-wise, would be considered our lead writer on this, is actually Bob Buckles as well, who has written for other series such as Initial D, Rave Master, and for another fun oldie but goodie, Bo.
Man, thank you for
Bo.
I'm not kidding.
Bo.
I'm not kidding. I looked it up yesterday.
Thank you for reminding me I should pick up that discotheque release.
Yeah.
We should totally do a Bo episode and have it be the most insufferable thing ever made by humans.
Oh god.
I mean,
don't tempt us, Amon. Don't tempt us.
Don't tempt us. I want to be a part of it.
I mean, what's there to tempt? Let's fucking do it. Anyway, I kind of want to do this episode round robin style. So what are our thoughts on the directing and writing of this show? Because, oh boy.
I have what I would like to call a compliment. Well, it's not a new concept. I'm stealing this. That's been used a lot of time. For this show, the ADR directing and the script writing, I'm going to give it the compliment sandwich approach.
Okay.
So, first things first, I'm gonna start off with my first compliment sandwich. I'm gonna start with that, and that is a big fallacy a lot of like dub critics like to use is that people like to say that dubs always use the same 12, 15 actors or something, which is actually a bullshit fallacy and isn't true. However, I'm gonna say some of the early dub fairs for SDI Media, specifically Netflix SDI Media projects, it kind of felt like for a while they had a lot of the same actors that would come up very regularly in every single one of their projects.
Right.
What I want to compliment High Rise Invasion for, and what I want to compliment SDI Media for a lot of their dubs over the course of the past year or so, is that they have expanded their talent pool roster quite considerably, to the point that there's a lot of really interesting actors that showed up in this dub that I've not heard in any of their other projects, and I feel like their ability to expand that roster has really done them favors, especially with this one in particular.
Now, to be fair, High Rise Invasion does have a little bit of double, triple casting, but that's mostly with minor characters.
I'm also willing to give leeway to this one because a lot of the minor characters are slashers who don't talk or die.
Exactly. Like, for instance...
Hey, Zeno, we have a guy who needs to yell. Can you yell?
No, for instance, because I'm gonna spoil this now, we are gonna discuss him as one of these roles. Fucking Kellen Goff plays 3 different roles in this damn show, and they all die.
And one of them stands out a lot more to me than the rest.
Oh, that's the one we're gonna talk about.
But yeah, it's like, I don't mind the multiple casting for this one, because a lot of them are like one-off slashers who kind of die.
Right.
For a show where you have ensembles that are interacting with each other on the regular, that becomes a much bigger problem. So yeah, that's my thought on the casting. Before I go to my middle section, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh my god. The casting's a lot of fun. I think this might have been, in terms of our lead, Yuri Honjo, this might have been the first known role after this actress went to LA, I think. Don't quote me on that.
I'm not quoting you on that.
I'm probably wrong. But as far as I could notice, there's probably something that precedes this. Or she was in the process of working on, maybe. But no, I love the fucking casting. Because, yes, there's a lot of double, triple casting in the show, but some of them are used in very fun and unique ways that I don't mind it at all. And then you have some occasional surprises, like you have a fucking Dallas regular in your cast. Which, it's gonna end up being the first time we talk about this person in an LA dub, as far as I know of, on an episode, I think. Don't quote me on that.
Man, you are just setting yourself up to get well,
I
actually.
probably am.
Like, you are basically just putting, like, the bullseye on your chest right now.
Listen. This is probably, I think this is actually my first time talking about a fucking Netflix show, period.
No?
Is it?
Violet Evergarden.
Okay. I've lost all concept of time.
It's been a while.
Dude, I was talking to Natasha earlier, and she asked when Resident Evil Village came out, because by subjective time, that came out last year. It came out in May, but subjectively, it came out last year.
Subjectively, yes.
That's so fucking funny.
That's hilarious. And people are still memeing on Lady Domatresk. It's great.
we saw a good amount of cosplayers at Kineticon.
A lot of Resident Evil ones. Obviously, Lady Domatresk was the popular one, but I think I saw a couple Ethan Winters, and I know there was a Heisenberg in there. It was great.
How does one cosplay Ethan Winters? He's just an increasingly mangled hand.
You cosplay a increasingly mangled hand.
The jacket, the bandage, the jeans. It was a blonde guy, and supposedly based on like some artwork and stuff like that, Ethan is blonde. Anyway.
All right. I'll go through my thoughts because I don't want to take this section up too much, but it's like that's my first good.
Okay, what's your next layer in your sandwich?
My next layer is a criticism.
Okay.
I think the adaptive script for the first 2 episodes is actually pretty terrible.
Debatable.
Here's my argument to that, is that I feel like later on in the show, the show they find its footing in that this is basically like a campy weird show, and both the script and a lot of the voice actor deliveries really do benefit from that. But I feel like in the first 2 episodes when they're explaining a lot of things, they're being too strict with the dialogue of these characters in this absurd premise, and I feel like some of the localizations are very awkward in the things they say.
But babe, you need to spare the life of me and my dog.
See that? Okay, that was funny, but no, I'm talking about like some of the awkward things about describing like proper nouns, or it's like they're saying that they want you to commit suicide by jumping, which just that very phrase, like commit suicide by jumping, just sounded very awkward in the way it came out, and I feel like that was very present in the first 2 episodes. It improves as it goes along, but the first 2 episodes, the script was genuinely rough.
Okay. I didn't find any issues with it, honestly. I thought it was great.
How do I put this? Something I appreciate about the Buchholz's dubs is I feel like they are good at recognizing... They're good at recognizing, alright, what is this show? What's it, like, what is about it?
Yes.
And playing into that, because I feel like, you know, they as, you know, one of the go-to people that Netflix commissions a lot of their dubs for, I feel like they have dubbed like a pretty wide variety of genre, and I feel like they put in good work generally.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not arguing that. Yeah.
No, I know, but this is a lead up to. I think they correctly recognized that this is a death game, but I feel like spiritually this has a lot in common with like shitty European genre movies from the 70s.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
things made in Italy that Severin Films and Vinegar Syndrome re-release on Blu-ray. And in that regard, being a little bad kind of feels appropriate.
No, yeah, like, it's
In
100% appropriate.
Like, it ends up being that weird way where, like, the you know... I think I saw someone commenting on, sort of localization somewhere. There's commenting on... I forget what it is, but something like in the show, you know, the special people are called like those who've been touched by God or something like that.
Chosen by God.
Oh,
or closer to God.
Closer to God,
closer to
yes.
God. And in the subtitles, they use like a much punchier line, which is probably like a slightly better localization in general. But I kind of like that because it has that vibe of like, we're making a genre movie in Italy. We know English. Idioms aren't the best we're at. So everyone talks a little bit funny.
What was the term they used in Japanese, actually?
Oh,
I don't remember. It was more like an actual like 2-word phrase. Like it wasn't The Chosen, but it was something like much punchier. It was a lot like
Okay.
Okay.
It was the kind of thing where like, you know, the adjective precedes the noun instead of follows it, kind of a thing.
It was more marketable.
Yes.
Okay.
Or it didn't, or it was a lot shorter and thus it didn't fit the lip flaps as well.
It makes me mildly curious of how the manga adapted it. Like, if they used the English version, or... Because the manga, it is available in English from 7 Seas. I was going to say that for later. But I think it started releasing in the States in 2019?
No, that's...
No, it's a few years earlier than that. Never mind.
Fun fact, the last volume came out like 3 days ago.
I know! I
Timing.
saw that when I was doing my research, making sure like I have everything I need for later, and I'm like, oh shit! And then there is a sequel manga, but we'll talk about that later.
Yep.
That's for the
High
end.
Riser.
No, High-Rise Invasion Arrival. Where are they arriving? Who knows? I haven't read that far ahead.
High Rise, it invaded.
Fucking hell.
Anyways.
Don't you bring Invaded into this house, Ricky Bobby.
Crossovers I would watch regardless of quality. Anyways.
Oh, anyways. So my last thing to my compliments, in which I got my good, I got my bad, one more good.
Okay.
Oh, the fucking line deliveries on a lot of the actors in this is fucking great. See, I feel like the script in the first few episodes wasn't quite aware of what it wanted to be, but I feel like the actors definitely struggled with that in the first 2 episodes too. I feel like once episode 3 onwards once the script got more aware of what it wanted to be, the actors follow suit, and some of their deliveries are fucking goofy and fun and a lot of fun.
I'd like to think the actors knew from fucking day one what they were getting themselves into. That's what I would like to think.
Alright, you're playing a crazed maid. Why? I don't know.
Because
She's never given any real motivation. He just is.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to talk about our maid friend, who may or may not be Jeremy Lee. That's not.
I thought she was going to be a bigger part in the show. I was like,
just,
okay.
She's just here. Have some plot.
This is not a dead teenager movie, but it has a lot of that. Yes, we'll absolutely introduce characters so they can die.
I'll say this.
Plot. Here's your plot on a platter. Exposition. There's your exposition.
There was shockingly less body drops than I was expecting for this.
It's kind of funny.
You drop a body off a building. It's kind of the same every time.
Yeah.
I guess. So you gotta be like, okay. So
in the first episode, you have two people who end up getting thrown or fall off not thrown off a building. They both fall off a building voluntarily, and this animation is essentially the same fucking thing for both of them.
And plus,
the slow mo before they hit the fucking ground, and inner thoughts, and then done.
And are we ever going to top that cop freaking out for 5 seconds before he pancakes on the sidewalk? I don't think so.
No,
fair enough.
We're not. That's our high point right there, and people jumping off to their death. It's great.
So yeah, that's more or less my thoughts on the dub.
Alright, any other thoughts to add about the directing and writing on this show? I fucking love it.
I think this is delightful. I think they really did a good job tapping into everyone's inner B-movie watcher in this.
100%. Like a grindhousey B-movie kind of feel.
Yeah, this is very much, whether or not you like High-Rise Invasion has a lot more to do with your own personal taste in media, but I think this is very much the dub this show deserves, for all the good and bad that might entail.
I'll say this. I laughed at the show, but then I realized this is not a show that wants me to laugh at it. It wants me to laugh with it. It wants me to laugh with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I disagree in that I think it wants to do both.
It does both, yeah. But no, it's fucking, oh my god, it's great. The writing on it is campy and punchy, and just, so much ham. It's awesome. I can kind of understand why you think the first couple episodes writing-wise were rough, but I don't think so. Having watched it, and as someone who usually is into this kind of shit on a normal basis, and who has watched a fuck ton of Battle Royale death game anime nonsense, this is a breath of fresh air to me. This is amazing. I'm not even kidding. I'm trying to think. Any other thoughts?
I'm ready to talk about some psychos.
Yeah, let's talk about some lunatics.
Alright, the first two sets of characters are probably going to go relatively quickly if I had to guess. Because, especially with our first group, there's not a lot to really talk about currently.
We're just going to talk about how fucking weird they are.
We're going to talk about how fucking weird they are. So we have a bunch of our wonderful masked villains. Well, I can't even say villains, because there's one in particular...
Slashers?
There's one in particular who's referred to as a guardian, and that's a different kind of masked person. Anyway, so we have our voice of Mask. I originally wasn't going to add her in here, but Andrew insisted.
Because I feel like she's a lot more prevalent throughout the show than most of these one-offs. Because she is the disembodied voice that's on every single mask.
Mm-hmm. We also have our Guardian Dealer Masks. She is one of those Guardians that I just mentioned. And she kind of gives a little bit of advice and assistance to Yuri Honjo when Mayu is kind of in hibernation mode. But we'll talk about that in a bit. And then the rest of our masks are a fun batch. So we have Rider Mask, Chef Mask, Dagger Mask, and Student Mask. To which Dagger and Student actually work under... I need to find your name. Aikawa, who is, for all intents and purposes, currently our main antagonist of the show. So...
He's taking the whole god part of Closer to God a little too seriously.
He has a god complex. Anyway, playing these individuals, I'm going to start with our Student Mask. Again, a good amount of these people were not originally attached to characters, and we got confirmation from Ruben over at SDI Media on these performances.
Thanks, Ruben. You're a bro.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, voicing Student Mask, we have Kyle McCarley, who has voiced other characters such as Ryo Asuka in Devilland Crybaby, Narancia, oh my god, I can't even pronounce that last name.
Just say Narancia.
Narancia from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, and Ichimatsu Matsuno from Mr. Osamatsu, which is topical, because when recording this episode, that episode's out today. So, hell yeah.
Yay for dating.
As Dagger Mask, this was confirmed by the actor themselves. We have Bryce Papenbrook, who has voiced characters such as Eren Yeager in Attack on Titan, Caesar Zappelli in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Battle Tendency Arc, and Inosuke Hashibira, my son, in Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, as Chef Mask. As we mentioned his name earlier, we have Kellen Goff, who has voiced characters such as Porco Gallard in Attack on Titan Final Season, Diavolo and Emperor Crimson in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, and I know Amon will 100% appreciate this, the Senpai in The Night is Short, Walk On Girl.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. As Rider Mask, we have Alex Lee. He was confirmed previously, I believe. He has voiced characters such as Kaiman in Dorohedoro, Manjiro Mikey Sano in Tokyo Revengers, and my other Demon Slayer son, Zenitsu Agatsuma in Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. As Guardian Dealer Mask, we have confirmed, thanks to Ruben, Lauren Landa, who has voiced characters such as Annie Leonhardt in Attack on Titan, Juno in Beastars, and Merlin in The Seven Deadly Sins. And confirmed thanks to the credits of Netflix, the voice of the mask is Xanthi Huynh, who has voiced characters such as Sophia Taylor in Akane Ranman, Platelet in Cells at Work, and Makia in Makia,
When in the Promised Flower... Makia when the Promised Flower blooms, I think.
I'm accidentally almost mixing. I sometimes mix those subtitles up with Anohana.
Yeah, because Anohana is the flower we saw that day.
That's it,
Which is very, very intentional, considering they're both Mario Kata, probably. Anyways, you take a good swig. That was a lot of talking.
I'm good. Alright, so boys, how we feel about this group of characters?
Okay.
Again, it's gonna go relatively quick, I
Okay,
think.
please remind me who Rider Mask is. That's the one
He's the one in the jumpsuit who, when the two girls encounter, like, the...
Oh, is he the boxer?
Yeah, he just beats the shit out of a bunch of people.
I love how he just comes out of nowhere and just fucking decks them.
Yeah,
was cool.
he's the one where Mayu makes the decision to put on the mask herself.
Right, because he's not even an ally. It's like there's literally another plot line going wrong. He just kind of walks into the plot and is like, I'm gonna kill these guys.
Yeah. That's basically what Rider Mask
Like, he
does.
wasn't even alluded to prior. He just walks in and he's like, oh, I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
And he lays the smack down on some bitches.
And it's great. And Alex
amazing.
Lee is great.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
A stupid aspect of the show that I like is that while there are factions, there are also people who are just kind of running around, not aligned with anybody, and will just kind of just fuck things up because, I mean, they're stuck here having to murder people. May as well have some fun.
Yeah, it's like, why not?
Alright, the Guardian Dealer Mask.
Yeah, Lauren.
Lauren's good. She's cool. She's kind of like a bystander. I almost said innocent bystander. Like, bitch has a gun. She ain't no innocent.
No one's innocent in this show.
So, Lauren's good. And she's just kind of off in the sidelines, and she's doing fine.
Xanthi I kind of like, but only because, here's the thing with the voice of the mask. The voice of the mask takes on other voices as well, I believe. I'm pretty sure the voice of the mask also ends up being Mayu at one point, and then Yuri herself at one point.
Yeah.
So that's why I was debating on having her in here.
The reality is the main central voice of the mask, when it's not impersonating anybody else, is Xanthi. Right. And I feel like that comes up enough in a lot of episodes that I feel like this is worth talking about. Right. And I love Xanthi's kind of like cutesy but stoic, robotic tone of voice, and I think it's like, okay, no wait, cutesy's the other character she plays. No,
the other character she plays is very cutesy, and I like that one better.
No, but this Xanthi's a lot more like stoic, robotic, and like coldly deadly. Just because it's like the very casualness of talking about like, you must fill your command, otherwise you will die. Yeah, and I enjoy that. So I wanted to get those out of the way quickly because I don't have as much to say about their characters or their voices.
So much, though.
All right, Amon, you get first pick. Who do you want? Student, Dagger, or Chef?
I am watching Night is Short, Long Gone Girl has turned me into a big Kellen Goff fan, but I'm going to
yes.
But I'm going to hold off discussing on that because I want to discuss what a goddamn delight Bryce is as this mouthy, obnoxious guy in a leather jacket, just endlessly shouting while his friend does all the actual fucking work.
What did you describe him as last night? You called him something Inosuke.
He's fucking he's like delinquent Inosuke.
Yeah. It's the Inosuke voice. That's really what this is.
It is the evolution. It's the natural progression of people who say that Bryce as Inosuke sounds a lot like Kuwabara and Yu Yu Hakusho. This is the natural evolution.
Oh my god, yes! I love this! It's accurate here. This is basically a fucking Kuwabara knockoff.
He is such a glorious one-scene wonder. He shows up, is deeply entertaining, and then gets shot for his troubles.
He understood the assignment, and that's all you can really ask for.
I'm imagining it's like, Bryce, we have a weird shithead for you to play. Would you like to play it? Would I?
Okay.
Absolutely, I can be there this afternoon.
What kind of voice you want? Inosuke.
Alright! I got you, fam. Speaking of people who understood the assignment, Kyle McCarley.
Oh my god.
Kyle McCarley as the student mask is great, because when you first see him, he's kind of following Yuri's group, trying to get information to send back to Aikawa. But then, as he's kind of like stalking Yuri, and he's thinking, I should go back, and all this fun stuff, but he decides instead, I'm going to attack and kill her so I can get praised by Master Aikawa. And then all of a sudden, there's this thing in this show where those who are closer to God can control masks so long as they're on the same wavelength. And Student Mask just suddenly is on the same wavelength as Aikawa, and he gets his speaking function back, essentially, because most of the time the masks don't speak at all. And holy shit, his rant and praise of his god Aikawa is just the best fucking shit I could ever hear Kyle McCarley say.
It's such an obsessed fanboy.
Master Aikawa! Master Aikawa!
And you could hear Kyle just hamming it up, and it's just so... It's so fun. He's a lot of fun.
Again, he also understood the assignment.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And I think the tone of voice used is similar to his Rio voice in Devilman Crybaby. I think is the closest comparison I can make, which is great.
But they're like they thought Rio was a little too subtle in his homosexual advances towards his best friend.
Oh my god! God damn it! Oh, I hate you.
And now let's talk about
the best. I love him. The best one-off character in the show.
I fell in love with Kellen Goth as the Chef Boss.
Oui, oui.
It was so fucking funny. It was so fucking goofy. It was wacky, wild, insane, deranged, and just, oh my god, it was perfect. It was
so good.
The very literal personification of Chef's Kiss perfection.
Yes. Oh my
Mwah!
god. And because he mixed in like French phrases and stuff into the performance too. And it's great because 9 times out of 10, the masks have the masks on and they don't need to follow lip flaps. So, it's amazing because they can get away with a lot of fucking shit.
Oh, it's so funny.
I'm sorry. Kellen stole the show that episode. I'm sorry. He did.
Don't apologize for the truth.
I am unsurprised that they got this Kellen. He voices a few other masks or something, right?
Yep, he's confirmed to at least voice like 3 characters in this show.
Yeah, I feel like, of course, because this is the exact kind of character type that he excels at. It's just
no, 100%.
No, bigger.
The bigger hammy ones.
Free your inner ham, Kellen.
Yep. And recording-wise, this could have possibly predated Akudama Drive a little bit as well. So he was in the middle of doing Akudama, too. So... Oh boy, Kellen can throw on a good slice of ham. He's really good at his villains, but oh boy, when you let Kellen go full ham, it's a masterclass.
Kellen Goth has genuinely become one of my new favorite actors. Like, especially like over in the LA scene. I think he is just... oozing talent.
Oh, he's immensely talented.
It's unbelievable. Like, I'm only now just kind of getting a feel for what his actual vocal range is. It's scary. But no, this one I was able to pick up it was him, but oh my god, It's so good. I love this fucking... Chef Mask is so perfect. I love it. Ugh. Chef Mask represents everything I wanted from a show like this that I never thought I was going to get. It's perfect.
He's also a very interesting character because he's the one of the few characters that apparently have had a defective mask put on him. So he has retained a good portion of his humanity. And we actually find out that Chef Mask is actually obsessed with people and killing them. Potentially. Which makes it even better. It's fucking good. Oh my god. Are there any other thoughts on this batch of characters?
The one-off masks as a whole are just great.
Oh, they're
like
they're
they're just great across the board.
They're a delight. I love them. They're so good. I'm sorry, Kellen stole it for me though out of this group. 100%. Close second might be Kyle. Maybe, but Bryce is also up there. But no. All right. Do we want to move on?
Yes.
Okay, our next batch of characters. This should also probably go relatively quickly. This is Rika's group. Riko Honjo's group, Yuri's older brother, who they're there throughout the course of the show, as allies in the support group as well.
They have a whole other anime spin-off thing that doesn't get shown.
Pretty much. So we have Riko Yoshida. He is also one who is closer to God. He can currently control up to, what they say, like 5 masks?
I am the one who... You trust me, Riko Yoshida. Oh, that's him, Riko Yoshida. It's like, why would you say your own name like that? They trust me, Riko Yoshida.
It's great.
I'm like, buddy, do you not know who you are?
He's actually not sure. He has to self-affirm himself periodically.
To be fair, he's not in the show enough to really know, so...
Right, no, Rika's group actually kind of makes contact with Rikuya, and they eventually go to meet him before Rika's ass gets kidnapped, because of course he fucking would. We also have Kohei Yamanami.
He has terminal mummy bandage disease.
God damn it. Shinji Okihara, who we actually first are introduced when we really start learning about Rika. And he wears a nice little helmet hat on his head. It's kind of fun.
Is he the one that showed up with his buddy Damon Mills?
Yes.
That gets fucking offed
yes.
by a cannonball to the head?
If Damon's character lasted longer, we would be talking about Damon too, actually.
I was like, oh, hi, Damon!
And then
bye, Damon!
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. We have...
Oh, good deaths.
We also have Megami Saito, who...
Is she the one with the tits?
She's the one with the tits.
Okay.
That's the best
I remember vaguely the character design, and my one thought was, damn, you have big boobs.
Mm-hmm. And then we have the father-daughter duo of Azuma and Haruka. So, playing these characters, I'll start with our father-daughter duo. We have, as Azuma the dad, we have... confirmed, thankfully, Keith Silverstein, who has voiced characters such as Gohin in Beastars, Onihei Mishima in Coppelion, and here's a triple whammy for you. Again, topical. Dione Iyami and Matsuzo Matsuno in Mr. Osamatsu. As his daughter Haruka, we have Kira Buckland, who has voiced characters such as Rebecca Blueguard in Eden Zero, Mary Saotome in Kakegurui, and Setsuna in Yashahime Half-Demon Princess. Megami Saito is Cherame Lee, who's voicing characters such as Kyoka Izumi in Bungo Stray Dogs, Noe in Dorohedoro, another fun one, and Tomei Kurata in Mob Psycho 100. As Shinji, we have Erica Harlacher, who has voiced characters such as Jackie in Brand New Animal, Kurapika in Hunter x Hunter, and Elizabeth Leonis in Seven Deadly Sins. Here's a fun one. As Kohei Yamanami, we have Clifford Chapin, and probably the first time we've ever talked about Clifford Chapin in an LA dub.
So far.
Clifford...
Don't quote her on that.
Shut up. Clifford has voiced characters such as Zondes in The Heroic Legend of Arslan, Teenage Sachio, I'm going to be specific here, in Megalobox Nomad, and this is not his first Netflix dub. He's also previously voiced Kaoru Nagisa in the Neon Genesis Evangelion dub for Netflix.
1 of 6.
Yeah.
The Ava cast is cursed.
It's unbelievable.
The one guy who voiced Toji went and joined the circus, and it was all downhill from there.
Like, when you told me about the circus thing, I was like, are you fucking serious?
Unless Matt Greenberg is lying to us all.
Oh my god.
You mean Greenfield?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, and as Rikuya Yoshida, we have Paul Castro Jr. So the only other credited animation role Paul Castro Jr. has is Abel and Forsetti in Record of Ragnarok. However, he's been in quite a few films and TV series, films including The Skeleton Twins and The Garden Left Behind. So, boys, what do we think of these, our little side squad here?
Before I start, I'm just gonna say, Amon, holy shit, you need to watch Megalobox 2 Nomad.
Alright, one day.
It's really good.
That is a priority, dude.
I'm busy.
I know you're busy.
I agree with you, but I'm busy.
Cliff's older Sachio
Lots of
is just
things
great.
are good.
I know, Cliff's older Sachio is just phenomenal as a side note. Like,
okay.
Anyway.
Keith Silverstein's very good at what he does. He plays good old dear old dad, and then he's gone. Haruka, his kid, is good.
Okay.
I like Kira Buckland and things. They didn't do much. Jeremy Lee plays big boobs, and her boobs were quite big.
She does some screaming.
She does scream
She
good.
does some screaming.
She does scream good, and her boobs are quite spectacular.
Megumi's boobs.
We're
gonna be straight here.
All right, and yes, Jeremy also played the one-off murder maid in episode 1. Okay.
Okay, it's not confirmed actually.
Not
that
confirmed,
she
but
is
I'm like 95% sure.
We're gonna make some things clear. We might recognize some voices in the cast. We can't confirm or deny that it is them because we don't have the confirmation and we don't want that to be taken seriously.
Okay. It is my humblest opinion that I'm pretty sure that the murder maid in episode 1 was also Jeremy Lee.
I'm pretty positive as well, but I digress.
I'm making sure we don't get sued.
I know. Anyway.
I like Shinji. Shinji's a good kid, and Erika does a good job making him sound like a very good boy. And I like his duel with Rika against the fucking baseball mask, where he's just chucking cannonballs like they're fucking baseballs. And then they have the brilliant idea of, oh, wait, he's doing a baseball thing.
So he has to abide by the rules of baseball.
He has to abide by the rules of baseball.
Yep.
So I'm gonna use my sledgehammer as a fucking baseball bat.
Yep, and it worked, actually.
And then he missed, but then he shot him in the leg and then just charged him. And it's like, oh, this is just fucking stupid.
It is, but it's great.
Who says anime isn't serious literature?
But no, Shinji's a good kid, and I like Erika. Cliff is fun. Cliff's fun as the good guy with the bandages. He's a good ally, and he's trying to survive this world in capitalization and quotation marks.
Yeah, out of the entire group, I think Kohei has a little bit more. Shinji has a touch more too. But Kohei, after Rika's kidnapped, he ends up being the point of contact between him and Yuri's group. So, yeah.
And Paul Castro as Rikia is also pretty good. He sounds like a good boy that's doing his best, and also he has a very cute mask that likes selfies and wants to be praised. I'm like, damn, dude, you better give her what she wants.
China Mask is confirmed to be Ann Yatko. Side note, she confirmed it herself.
Cool.
So,
anyways, these are fun characters, and these are all voice actors I like. There's not a lot to say.
Yeah, there's not a ton to say here. They're all fine. I love them so much. They're great. Any other random thoughts to throw in here?
These are good side characters. I hope they show up a little bit more in possible season 2 ? Maybe.
I can't believe
hope so.
all of them survived.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
Like I realize this does not quite have the same stakes as, when Game of Thrones says anyone can die, but let's be real here. None of these people are guaranteed to make it to the end of the show. Not even the actual child.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
See, I'm amazed they had so much restraint as to let them survive this long.
Oh, some of these guys are probably gonna fucking die. I bet. Oh my god, the first. Who wants to place bets of who's gonna die first? My bet is the dad, because he's fucking stupid.
You know what I appreciate? The fact that the show got its one thing of sexual violence out of the way, and then the rest of the show was surprisingly okay, I'm using clean in quotations. By clean, I mean not rapey or as rapey as it could have been.
Less sexual assault.
It is always funny to me when you watch shows like this that are really extremely violent, but their fan service basically ceilings at, like, underwear, and there might be a shower scene or two for 5 seconds, and that's about it.
I was
like it is weirdly chaste for a show of this variety.
Yeah,
I
after
appreciate
the first episode, that's as much of the fan service as you fucking get.
There's so many anime out there that are hyper violent that like to throw in the rape card, and it just brings the vibe down. You know which ones. I don't even need to say which ones. You know which ones.
That's the thing I appreciate about this show. It understands, like, no, we are a light, fun show about murder.
With a couple of panty shots and boobs.
There are lines that if we cross them, it is going to be a bummer, and that is not what we are about.
I feel like the tactic for, like, the first episode of having the scene about Yuri, like almost being sexually assaulted.
Which was uncomfortable. But...
Which is very uncomfortable, and fucking, I believe he was confirmed, I think... Oh, shit, I closed the wrong tab. I think he was confirmed previously. Sean Shiplock.
Yeah, it was either him. I don't remember.
It's Sean. I think he was confirmed.
I
need to pull up ANN just to be safe. But I think he was.
He
confirmed.
was one of those two cops.
Yeah. But.
Anyways, yeah.
My point is, it decided to have the shock factor. I think in the first episode that a lot of anime of this kind of caliber will go for. Just to get people hooked in, you know what I mean?
Which is a shitty tactic, but I'm just glad the show kind of drops that.
I mean, I'm glad it...
Also, one of my favorite random things is that, like, in the last episode, it's like, Mayu's, like, mask mirage version of herself. There's a shot that has a panty shot of both her and her mirage self, and for some reason, they both have different colored panties on, despite one literally being fake.
Okay, so here's what's weird. So, Sean Shiplock, according to ANN, is confirmed to be Rukia, which is very weird. That's a weird one. I don't know.
Who's Rukia?
Rukia Yoshida, actually.
What?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Not Anime News Network. Anime Planet is what I wanted. But all the other mediums, including... the Netflix credits themselves have it as Paul Castro.
Somebody fucked up while editing.
You know what?
That's not the first time.
That wouldn't be the first time, because there was one that was credited, and then I checked the credits, and it had a different actor listed in the credits.
Yeah, that one's also another weird
We'll
one.
bring it up, because I saw that, and I did a double take, and Steph had to reassure me that...
No, yeah, because the actress is the one who confirmed their role on that one. Like, so that's the one I'm going with.
Anyways, we should
I'm just
we should probably move on.
I know. Any other thoughts on this group of secondary characters?
They're not as funny as the masks, because what is?
Very true.
Not their fault.
Okay, so here we go. So Anime Planet has Sean Shiplock attached to the police officer that does assault Yuri in episode 1.
Cool.
And then Anime Planet for Riko Yoshida has Paul Castro Jr.
It must have... I
don't know what happened on ANN.
Or somebody for, like, one episode listed
They could have potentially
Sean.
put the wrong... Well, they probably could have listed the wrong character.
No, I'm not blaming ANN. I'm blaming Netflix on this one. Anyways.
Sean was listed under additional voices.
I will point out, ANN's cast lists are all fan-generated. I think someone just messed up while they were putting it in there.
That's what I'm saying. Is whoever inputted it on ANN might have just accidentally mixed up the characters. That's what I think. But anyway, Sean Shiplock's listed under Netflix credits as additional voices, so you can't really attach them. But anyway, any other thoughts, or are we good to move on to... Oh, no. Speaking of our motorboating friend, are we good to move on? Oh, man. Our, wonderful motorboating, villain.
Correction, she is not the motorboat-er, she is the motorboat-e. She is the boat for people to motor off of.
I'm talking about Aikawa. I'm not talking about Kusakabe.
Oh,
I said motorboater. Wrong character, bro.
Oh.
Wrong one. Anyway, so our main, for all intents and purposes, our main villain of the show. We have Mamoru Aikawa, who is one closer to God and can control apparently up to 30 masks, or angels as they're referred to, at once. And just, motherfucker is an edgelord god complex motherfucker who likes big boobs.
So, yeah, straight up, I feel like the moment where it clicked to me that this show knows exactly what it
was
is.
the moment where he motorboated, basically.
Because the entire sequence before, he spent like 3 whole minutes going off about like some tangent about his god complex and like the plot, and I didn't fucking care, but he was basically, you could tell he was whacking himself off with how cool and how godly he was. And then it's just like, hey, stay still for a second.
I'm about to say, please don't use me as an example.
Okay, no, I'm just...
I swear to God.
And then
He grabbed my arm, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
No, he just literally just, like, shoves his face in her tits.
No,
he
just shoves it in, he's like,
now I'm relaxed.
I feel much calm now.
Oh,
anyway,
boy.
and we have, while we did discuss Dagger and Student Mask in the previous section like a while ago, we're going to talk about the more of Aikawa's squad. But they have more of a role to them. So we have Yayoi Kusakabe, who basically is essentially the head bitch in charge of the masks under Aikawa, and she's very dutiful and very, very good. She's also the fucking reason why Sniper Mask exists, basically. Mm-hmm. Because she's the one who forced a mask on him in the first place. Mm-hmm. And gave him a rifle, and he's like, have at it! So, we don't like her. We also have Kijima, who essentially is a butler. he's like Kawa's butler, for all intents and purposes. I'm gonna skip these two for a hot second. We also have White Feather, who is also a sniper mask, in a sense.
But boobs.
But boobs, and a Robin Hood looking outfit. If that makes sense. And then we have Swimmer, who is a big, beefy, muscly guy.
Also with boobs.
Yeah, basically. Okay, and then we have Great Angel. Great Angel!
What the fuck?
What the fuck is this guy? A big, muscly, crazy bastard who believes in justice. And, he's too fucking strong, so fucking both Aikawa and eventually Yuri have to seal his fucking power away, and he becomes a little thing, and he's referred to as Daichan because of that. So...
He's a little weenie.
He's a little weenie. But Great Angel fucking will wreck your shit. Alright, playing Swimmer, we have Billy Kometz, who has voiced characters such as Risu in Dorohedoro, Osamatsu Matsuno and Mr. Osamatsu, and Asmodeus Alice in Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun. White Feather is voiced by Reba Burr, who has voiced characters such as Nikaido in Dorohedoro, Ryoko Naoe in Sirius the Agar, and Catalina Baudelaire in Violet Evergarden. I'm going to skip Great Angel for a minute. Kijima is voiced by Keith Silverstein, who is voiced who has voiced characters such as Ogai Mori in Bungo Stray Dogs, Takanori Suwara in Skip Beat, and of course, everyone's favorite psychopath, Johann Liebert in Monster. Yayoi Kusakabe is voiced by Christina V. Valenzuela, who has voiced characters such as Lucy Maud Montgomery in Bungo Stray Dogs, Sakura Mato in Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works and the Heaven's VL movies, and Vivi in Vivi Fluoride's Eye Song. And as Aikawa, we have Johnny Young Bosch, who has voiced characters such as Gyo Tomioka in Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, Makoto Tachibana in the Free franchise, and a classic one as well, Vashta Stampede in Trigun. Great Angel is an interesting one. There are 2 different voices, one for Great Angel, one for Daichan. I'm not kidding. One of them was actually previously confirmed by the actor themselves. The other one I actually had to get confirmation on. So, the person who came out for themselves and confirmed that they were this character. Dai-chan is voiced by Bryce Papenbrook, again, who has also voiced characters such as Stas Charlie Blood in Blood Lad, Makoto Naegi and Nagito Komaeda in the Danganronpa franchise, and Alan Stewart in My Next Life as a Villain is All Else Lead to Do. Great Angel is the one I had to confirm. It's fucking Ben Diskin as Great Angel. He has voiced characters such as Wolf in Blood Lad, Joseph Joestar in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Battle Tendency. I was blanking for a hot minute. And Bond from the Seven Deadly Sins. What do we think?
So straight up, I'm wondering if that was a choice from, like, the Japanese executives or something, that he had to be two different people, because Ben Diskin is absolutely capable of playing wimpy,
Hefty,
and then going to hefty.
Right. I'm gonna look that up real quick just for funsies. You guys need to talk about it.
Given not having any particular insight into the casting process for projects like these, I could even buy it potentially as it just being like they liked Bryce's wimpy voice more and liked Ben's like hefty voice more, and it's like, well, we could just have both play the character.
Which, all right, you know what? Let's just start with Great Angel. Just what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the actual fuck? It's fucking fantastic. It is some of the most aggressively extra Chad bullshit I've ever heard out of Ben Diskin. And I also love when he's kind of, like, baffled by the old guy coming in to fight again. He's like,
yes!
Wait.
Because Great Angel's big thing is fucking justice.
Everyone is evil. I must fight in the name of justice, which is a shockingly common trope in all these violent things.
Right.
But this is just like, oh, you're just fucking weird.
Okay, minor side note. It looks like there's only one actor, one seiyuu who voiced Great Angel. Though in the case of the Japanese, he's referred to as Archangel. Actually.
Man, that makes it extra weird that they got two people, because, like, Ben could totally pull it off.
Ben could have pulled it off, 100%.
Anyways, but so,
that's
like,
fine.
I think Bryce does a great job as playing the little wimpy.
Wimpy.
Like, it doesn't help that, like, his fucking skin-tight bodysuit kind of looks like a trash bag already.
One day, Evan asked, "What if we put Tingle in a death battle? What would that look like?"
Yep.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yup.
Anyways, Bryce is good, but no, Ben Diskin is hilarious, and, like, one of my favorite deliveries is when the old guy comes in trying to be cool, honorable, macho, and you just hear Ben just baffled being like, wait, who are you? Oh, you're like me, except you're lame.
No, seriously. Who
no,
are you?
no, like, he drops the whole, I can beat everything for justice, and like, wait, who are you? What? I don't understand. What's your deal?
Yeah. It was good.
And I was like, okay, that's fucking fun.
It was great. I love
Ben's so good.
Fucking Ben and Bryce. Like, the difference is enough to make each one stand out, but at the same time, it still retains to an extent that this is still the same person. So I think that worked really rather well.
Oh god, he was fun. What'd you think of the Chad Angel?
The Chad Angel.
Jesus Christ.
I fucking hate you, you bastard. No, you don't get any kisses, you asshole. No! Stop it!
Well, while they're doing that, this show knows what it is, and the people who made this dumb knew exactly what it is.
Oh yeah. No, they knew. They're not stupid. They're not fucking stupid. Billy Kometsu's swimmer just mostly is maniacal laughing. Like, not even maniacal laughing. I'd like to call it a stupid dunce laugh. Because it's like,
One of my favorite moments in the show is, I think in like the second to last episode or last episode, where I think it's Yayoi. They're like looking out a window at night and they happen to notice that Swimmer is just out there casually murdering someone, and she just is looking like, what the fuck are you doing? Get back in here, we have work to do. And he just like finishes killing the person and goes like he's the dumb, like...
He's the dumb, like...
it's Bebop and Rocksteady voice.
Yeah.
He's the dumb lackey from an 80s cartoon who goes, boss, is this a good idea?
Yes.
And then he's just kind of like, and also he swims in the concrete, but he doesn't actually swim through it. He's not like that. He doesn't have like a stand power where he can actually swim through like the ground,
That's great.
like at the end of Golden Wind. No, he just dives and then just pops back up.
It's great.
Like,
It's fucking great. But I'm sorry, that stupid dunce like that was great. I'm sorry. That was basically the extent of Billy's performance as Swimmer.
Swimmer's stupid but fun. White Feather, I'll give Reba credit, because I feel like I've mistaken her voice for a lot of people in the past, and this time I legitimately thought she was also Jeremy Lee.
No, I thought so too. And then I looked at the cast, and under, again, the additional voices, and I saw Reba's name there, and I'm like, I hadn't seen her name there before until now. So, Ruben confirmed for me that it is Reba.
She's gender-bent Sniper Mask,
Pretty much.
and she's cool, I guess, but...
And she might have a minor thing for Sniper Mask now. Because
This
he's so
would-
fucking cool.
This would make her the third woman in the show that has a crush on Sniper Mask, I believe.
I'd say at least second. Because Yuri doesn't really have a crush on Sniper Mask. She just thinks he's hot.
Which... yeah.
Kuan, on the other hand.
Oh, she's super into him, yeah.
Kuan's just
You could okay.
obsessed.
You could argue Rika. You can argue Rika.
Yeah, maybe. But I'd say they're more like bros. They're more like bros.
We need to see them interact first.
Right. We only got the one flashback scene, but I digress. Anyway, I do like Reba.
He cried for him, that means they're game for shipping.
Fuck.
Them's the breaks.
God damn it. No, I do like Reba as White Feather. She has like a kind of... It's a mix of commanding, but also like subordinate as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like she knows how to like take over a scene, essentially. Like she can be a commanding presence as White Feather, and then the episode with her and her showdown with Sniper Mask was actually really fucking cool.
Yeah, their sniper battle felt like a legitimately good fight, and I think the pair of them working off each other helped that a lot.
For sure.
Keith as Kijima was fine. He was good butler man.
Kijima really only has the one scene where he actually talks.
And we didn't even get to talk about volleyball mask and like servant mask, where I just love the fact that like
they
one
don't
of
really
his
have anything to say.
one of his closest lackeys, he's talking about his god complex and how he deserves to rule and shape this world to his image, and he's like, volleyball mask, take this prisoner elsewhere. It's like, shut. Yeah, okay, they know.
Speaking of Aikawa, though.
Johnny Young Bosch is Johnny Young Bosch, and that man is no stranger to playing God Complex. He's Lelouch Lamperouge, after all.
There were times where I was sitting there and I'm watching Johnny and I'm like, Lelouch, is that you? In like, is this like discount Lelouch? Which is fine.
And he's not even the one wearing the mask in this show.
I know. It's like discount Lelouch, and then it's like it's fine. It works really nicely because fucking Aikawa can be slimy and skeevy as fuck. Like he's not there.
I have a student council. Oh, I have a class. I have a student. What am I fucking?
Student council president.
No. What the
Class
fuck?
representative.
No. Fair.
What?
What's the fair thing they do?
School festival?
Thank you. I have a school festival and a coup d'etat to do. It's like, God, I forgot
Jesus.
school festival.
No.
That's the level of brain farting I'm working with today, people.
No, Johnny's a delight though. You lost your garbage when he had to motorboat though.
I was in fucking orbit. I could not believe the show, honest to God. Honest to God, was just having him be the edgy, cool guy.
Yep.
And then just like,
I need a second.
Just
No.
shoves his
Like,
face in there.
He plays it straight, which is the greatest part.
That's the best
of it.
part. He doesn't even go like full pervert. He's just like, I need a second.
I think that's the whole thing with Aikawa. Johnny actually plays Aikawa very straight. And because of that, it really works for this show.
I appreciate what the show and Johnny's performance in that. Obviously, it's nowhere near as savage, but I feel like it has that same opinion that like Flowers of Evil have, is that you get these really pretentious chuny guys, and they're all giant dorks at the end of it, and that's why they act like that.
Oh yeah.
And I feel
100%.
like the show understands that, and Johnny understands, like, yeah, this guy's a loser.
Man, I wasn't expecting a fucking Flowers of Evil reference in fucking High Rise Invasion.
You're welcome.
Where there are obnoxious chuny guys, Flowers of Evil is a good point of reference, because it's all about how they suck. And this is also a little about how they suck, but, you know, a lot dumber.
I mean, it does make sense when you think about, like, the main character is, like, a whole ball of sunshine, never give up. But I'd also argue...
Oh my god, Yuri's a...
I'd also
being
argue her
herself.
morals are a lot more suspect, but that's for later.
Well, that's for when we talk about Yuri.
Anyways, my actual standout outside of Ben Diskin just hamming it up is Christina as Yayoi, where she is just a full, fun, like, like, sexy bitch.
Yeah, she's like a sultry, scheming bitch. It's great. I love it.
And she's also a canonical MILF.
Ah! Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I can't just...
She
I'm not
has
just saying... I ain't saying that just because I'm horny. I'm saying that because the show has confirmed that something popped out of there.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in the next section anyway. But anyway. No, I love Christina as Kusakabe. She's just like... It's such... It's a no-nonsense, head bitch in charge kind of feeling, if that makes sense. But she's also a fucking...
What is it?
She's also a fucking masochist a little bit, too.
She's got big, girl boss gatekeep, energy going to it. Gaslight. Yes! She's got big girl boss gatekeep gaslight energy to her.
No, yeah, like, it's crazy. And I fucking love Christina.
No, she was a ton of fun.
She's fun. Any other thoughts about this group? Any collective thoughts, doesn't matter what.
The whole people who are closer to God thing is all very silly, but I appreciate that it allows for such strong personality people to be the antagonists in this production.
Oh yeah.
They could have had really boring generic one-note villains and this show would have been a slog, but it's like, no, not silly enough. No, make her more... No, she should dress like someone who's not a dominatrix, but someone who's clearly dressing up to go beat up a man because the man paid her to do that. Yes, absolutely.
I don't know if she's supposed to be dressed like a cop, maybe?
That's the vibe
I think that's the vibe and implication I'm getting from her.
She gives me very prison school vibes.
Yeah, it feels very much like a sexed up version of a more professional uniform, regardless of what exactly it's supposed to be.
No, yeah, I can feel that. That makes sense. But I'm sorry, I can't get over Johnny. Like,
that's legitimately...
The fact that Johnny's in this show is great. Like,
I'm not surprised that Johnny's in the show, nor am I surprised he's playing this character.
It's great, though.
I just adore... Like, that was the moment I think it clicked for me. I went from being like, okay, I'm having more fun than I thought, to, okay, no, I'm actually having fun. Was the moment that the stupid fucking edgelord god complex motherfucker just dunks his head in those tits and is like, that's better.
And he's just with a straight... These make me so calm. It's fucking great. No, I
He also maybe, instead of a god complex, he also might have a mommy kink too.
Oh, 100%. He must. He must have a mom complex.
And then he would make like a 3 to 5 minute Shuni monologue about like how like the love of breast is like returning to God or something, or like the Garden of Eden.
Oh my god!
These bountiful breasts bring us back to a simpler time when society was not corrupt by the filth of human sin.
God.
I, closer to God, will return us to the love that is the bountiful bosom of society.
I fucking hate you right now.
That is not even that wrong to something this show would pull.
No.
Amon, I have made some poor decisions in my life. I think dating this one next to me is one of them. I also now live with him, so that makes it even worse. Stop giving me kisses!
No, you're stuck with me.
No! I've made some poor decisions in my life, Amon. This is one of them.
In that case, do we want to move on to the next section and get away from this?
Yeah, unless there's any more last-minute thoughts. Which it doesn't seem like there are.
I think I've said what I need to say.
Okay, so next up, we have our next group of characters. They are allies of Yuri Honjo and her squad. So we have Kazuma Aohara, who is apparently a doctor of some sort. He is also one closer to God, but then at the end of the show, he also bites it. So,
shockingly, one of the few actual named bites the dust characters. I was like, you know what? Okay, sure.
Yeah. We have one of his angels that he controls, Ein, who is this little girl, Lolita-looking girl.
He also had Zwei, and then Yuri fucking shot her.
Yeah, Zwei lasted only like 2 seconds.
Hi, Zwei! Bye, Zwei!
Is that the one who does the big dramatic leap in the air and then is shot
and then just gets shot in the air
to the ground?
That's exactly who it is.
That's exactly it.
Oh, that was a good bit. I like that.
We also have Mr. Tanabe, who... So we talked about him a little bit when we were talking about Great Angel. So Tanabe is an older man, and we're introduced to both him as well as Aohara, probably almost around the midway point, because Tanabe runs into Yuri and Mayu and tries to get their help because Aohara basically killed his whole squad. And then weird insanity ensues. And Tanabe also has a sense of justice, which is why fucking Great Angel is like, what the fuck? That's why he's very confused. And Tanabe is the reason why Great Angel is now still alive and Yuri is in control of him. It's very weird. And then we mentioned earlier how much Kusakabe was a goddamn MILF. And we're not in the even joking sense. We have Uzuki Kusakabe. A young boy who just randomly joins the squad, kind of. And we find out Uzuki is Yayoi's son. We're in the middle of that last battle in the last couple of episodes. He's on the roof with Sniper Mask and he sees his mom. He's like, that's my mom! And Sniper's just like, shit. I can't kill her now.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. So, playing these characters. As Uzuki Kusakabe, we have Ann Yotko, who has voiced characters such as Lillian in Violet Evergarden, Lola in the hidden dungeon only I can enter, and of course, everyone's favorite, Nobara Kugisaki in Jujutsu Kaisen. As Tanabe, we have Michael Soric, who has voiced characters such as Ubertino in Arte, Jogo in Jujutsu Kaisen, and Melvin... Here's a fun one. Gigi, I love you. Melvin the Magnificent in Unico in the Island of Magic. As Ein, we have, again, Xanthi Huin, who's voiced characters such as Menma in Anohana, the Flower We Saw That Day, Haru Okamura in Persona 5 franchise, and Sachi in Sword Art Online. And as Aohara, we have Todd Habercorn, who has voiced characters such as Fiora Prochinezu in Bakuno, Assassin in Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, and actually in Heaven's Feel as well. And the one character I will hate forever, Nobuyuki Sugo, aka Oberon, in Sword Art Online. Because fuck that guy. What do we think of this batch?
I'm thinking my opinion of Sword Art has softened over the years, but I feel like my opinion of Alfheim has only gotten worse with time.
Yeah, we went over that when we covered Sword Art.
As for these characters, most of them are fine. Uzuki's a cute little kid, and Anne does a good job making him sound like a cute kid.
Side note, the Uzuki thing is very weird.
Oh god, yeah, this was what I was talking about earlier, where we like finished episode 11 or something. I let the credits play out, and then I saw Uzuki was credited as Colleen Oshagase.
Oshazane.
Is that how you say Oshazane?
Yeah, I think it's Irish or Scottish. Maybe.
But yeah, I was like, what? Where did that come from?
Yeah, so I probably should have checked with Ruben to be safe. However, Anne herself confirmed on Twitter that she was Uzuki, so that's why I went with Anne on this one. Because she herself confirmed that she was both Uzuki as well as China Mask, who is one of Rikuya Yoshida's masks that he controls.
Anyways, if this turns out that we are wrong, please fucking tell us, and then please yell at Netflix.
Or if we're right, then please yell at Netflix. But if we're wrong, then that's our bad.
It is morally justified to always yell at Netflix.
I don't know. But anyway, more thoughts. Keep them coming, boys.
Uzuki's a good kid, and he's a good little bean.
He comes out of nowhere.
He does.
Right now, his whole purpose is to just point out, hey, that's my mom. His whole purpose right now is to keep fucking Yayoi alive. That's really his only purpose right now. Because Sniper Mask would have fucking killed that bitch in a heartbeat.
He wants to keep... The series wants to keep the hot, sexy MILF alive.
I guess.
Who am I to argue with them?
I guess.
Anyways, yeah, Anne's good. I love Tanabe. Tanabe is, like, it's like they're trying to do a whole dramatic, like, you killed my found family, I will never forgive you, and then just he's, like, literally, he tries Yamchoing himself into the plot, where it's like, you don't even come close to the power levels we are hitting right now.
Yeah.
You are just here because you want to be involved and because of your honor.
Yeah.
And then immediately gets, like, shanked to the point of near death.
Yep.
Like, he interferes with the whole fight against Kazuma, which the show is a lot more shonen than you'd think, because there's a lot of bad guys that are suddenly forced to be buddies.
Yeah.
And Kazuma's the guy that killed, like, his whole family, and then he's like, okay, you two girls come with me, we're gonna do negotiation. And then the deal immediately falls apart. He's like, I got these girls who will fucking kick your ass!
This one is closer to God! She will kick your ass!
And they're just like, what the fuck are you doing, old man?
Tanabe just inserts himself into shit.
And almost dies. I'm so glad he's still alive, but he's just like, he's got this whole Japanese, like, code of honor thing going on, and he literally just has no fucking chance against all the power levels that are getting escalated at this point.
We'll be very honest. I'm shocked Tanabe made it to the end of the series. I'm shocked Kazuma didn't die earlier.
You know what?
They
yes
both
to
They
both.
both had dead meat written all over them. Legitimately surprised they've lasted as long as they
No,
have.
yeah.
In another show, Kazuma would have been a rapist that would have gotten offed, like, the episode and a half after he showed up.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Wow, okay.
I nailed it, didn't I?
Extreme.
I'm not... Come on! Look at this man! Look at his bespectable bullshit. Look at his fucking Lolita servant with a sword. This man's a fucking lolicon. And he would totally do shit.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Anyways,
you're not.
he got to be
He looks like the scientist in Excel Saga.
Ugh.
So you're correct. Anyways, continue.
So you're correct anyways.
Anyways, he got to be a cool guy, and then he got to die, so... Okay.
He got to be cool from it. Can I just say Xanthia's Ein is very cute. She doesn't say a lot, and is very quiet when she does. But some of the noises that she makes, like, when she's pulling out the sword, she's like...
I love how she does the cool little, like, sword action noises.
I love it. See, this is the character that Xanthi played that I really, really loved. And I'm like, okay, we can't just not talk about her. Sorry. My terrible impersonation of Ein right now. But, any other random thoughts we got about this crew? There's not a ton because they're kind of here and there throughout the show, but...
Yeah, they're like what's their name? They're like Rika's crew we talked about earlier, where they are notable, but they don't necessarily have a lot of screen time.
Right, they're a bit more notable than Rika's squad.
Yeah, that's
but
it,
just but barely.
Everyone goes in a nice good performance, and I agree that like Xanthi's just a lot of fun as Ein. Like I think Ein is a very purposely silly character, and I think they play that very well.
Oh yeah, she's all of the masks kind of like ham it up to an extent. It's great. Anything else, or are we ready to move on? Because the next few sections are going to be our meat and potatoes.
Yes.
I'm good.
So we have 5 remaining characters. They're going to be split into 3 different groups because I want to save Yuri for last. So let's talk about the boys. Let's talk about the boys of this show, the main ones. We have Riko Honjo, who is Yuri Honjo's older brother. who is also dragged into this crazy world and ends up separated from her very early on.
He knows the name of the game before she does.
Oh, he knows the name of the fucking game. And then we have the one that everyone seems to, like, have the hots for at this stage.
If this were written by a less competent writer, I feel like Sniper Mask would have been your dipshit otaku harem protagonist.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, Sniper Mask is a masked individual. In the beginning of the show, he's quote unquote normal by mask standards. But he ends up getting a crack in his mask, or very early on.
Because Yuri fucking throws a grenade at him.
Basically. And, the mask ends up becoming more defective, so he's actually getting more of his humanity and his personality back throughout the course of the show. The other big thing to know, and the reason why these two, I really needed them together, they actually know each other somehow. Sniper Mask and Rika know each other somehow. It is implied that they have known each other since they were kids. But we don't know the extent of the relationship, and because Sniper Mask does not even remember who he actually is, we don't know either. The best thing that we could go off of is during his hibernation, and both Kuan and Mayuko go into his consciousness to try and deactivate some of the programming for the masks. We might have his name, but it's not 100% confirmed. The name Makoto Yu comes up, so that could be his real name. We just don't know. But for all intents and purposes, we're gonna call him Sniper Mask, because that's who he fucking is. So, who in terms is playing these two characters is Yuri Honjo. I'm actually excited about these two. I haven't been able to fucking talk about these two gentlemen yet. I'm excited. I haven't talked about these guys on an episode yet. So, Yuri Honjo, Zeno Robinson. He has voiced characters such as Prince Kelby in Cannon Busters, Ogun Montgomery in Fire Force, and of course, Hawks in My Hero Academia. And as for Sniper Mask, we have Jonah Scott, who has voiced characters such as Joe in Skate the Infinity, Courier in Akudama Drive, and of course, everybody's favorite fucking furry, Legoshi in Beastars. So, how are we gonna talk about these two boys?
You want to talk about knowing the assignment?
Okay.
Jonah Scott and Zeno Robinson are two actors that have been really making waves for themselves in the past year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
And
especially Jonah.
It is honestly, especially Zeno too.
Well, Zeno's been around for a while, but he's more dove into anime more recently, I think, right? My understanding. I could be wrong again, because I'm stupid.
Anyways, so...
Yes, they did understand the assignment.
They did, and it's genuinely great. Zeno is really fun, because it feels like this dude should have been a lot edgier than he actually is.
Yes.
Like, I feels like he has so much of the, I'm the only one who can rely on me. There's nobody else that can rely on me.
And he's with the squad.
Or he's like, I was friends once, and then they all died, so now I'm a loner. It's like, no, it's just, he knows, oh, hey, I just gotta get a squad, I gotta be cool,
Yep.
Here's my fucking sledgehammer, die, bitch!
Yeah, pretty much.
It's how people think Batman is written versus how Batman is actually written.
Yes!
I am a true loner with my 5 adopted children and my 18 friends.
God, that's a fucking funny way to describe it, but you're so on the money with Riko on this one.
No, Zeno's
He's-
great!
He's really good. Like,
I love it.
he's actually, like, it's a very interesting performance. Like, I'd say it's pretty close to, like, I'd say it's Hawks, but like, pitched up a little bit,
Just a
played
touch,
a little
yeah.
younger, because Hawks is basically, like, a mid-20s, like, millennial type.
Rika's a high schooler.
Rika's a guy who would totally be hanging out at the arcades, and then, yeah.
I also think, because out of the 5 main characters, Rika actually has the most emotional beats he has to go through as well. Like, and a lot of internal, like, monologuing as well. So, like, the whole, like, grim doom and gloom kind of thing, and then the more aggressive parts too, especially when he fucking is like, fucking try it, Aikawa, I fucking dare you.
I think my favorite when it's like...
So he has the most emotional beats,
my favorite is like when you can tell Aikawa clearly found out that like Yuri's his sister.
Right.
And he's trying to basically bait him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, I love the progression, the escalation of, I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds weird. I don't have a sister at all.
Okay,
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like,
It's
okay,
all...
I'm gonna go kill her then. How's that sound?
He's like, I don't know her. What are you talking about? I don't have a sister. Nobody matters to me. That's fine. If you fucking touch her, I will end you.
Yeah, pretty much. No, yeah. Like, Zeno
and like the
has...
scream of that is like,
yeah.
whoa.
Zeno has, I think, the most emotional beats that he has to go through in the show compared to everybody else. And I think it works very, very well, honestly. Like, I love it.
What do you think of Rika?
Rika's great. Has Zeno played a lot of like shonen protagonist types? Because I feel like the more boring,
I think he's been doing it more.
Yeah, because like the more boring version of this show makes Rika the main character.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that it doesn't, but I think Zeno taps into that very much. Like, yeah, this is just like a relatively.
He's the lead of an isekai called "I'm Standing on a Million Lives."
That's right. He is the lead in that, isn't he? That's right.
Yeah, that's that.
He's also the lead in the hidden dungeon only I can enter.
That's the one I was thinking of
which
just now.
Is... That show is very horny.
He's also in Kuroko.
Okay, but Kuriko's fucking awesome.
Kuroko is awesome, but it's technically considered a shonen, I think, right?
It's very shonen.
So, yes. He has. No, it's very interesting. But,
But I think he gets that, like, alright, this is sort of the shonen-y protagonist-y guy, not 100%, but like that's kind of where the baseline of the character is, and I think he taps into that really well.
Oh,
like,
it's great.
He feels very much like good dude, maybe a little bit over his head given everything that's going on, but like, I mean, what are our options exactly?
Exactly.
Let's do our best, guys.
I feel like the more I talk about High-Rise Invasion, the more I see exactly where you could have easily just changed a few things and gotten a much more terrible show.
Right. Exactly.
The show, there are a astounding number of pitfalls this show just pirouettes right by.
I cannot...
So
like,
well.
That's the thing that shocks me the more I discuss High-Rise Invasion. It's like, wow, this could have been so easy to be terrible.
Yep.
And it's surprisingly competent.
Yep.
And you know what? I want to talk about a character I was not expecting to be as great as they were.
Okay, let's face it. We're all here to talk about Jonah Scott's Sniper Mask, aren't we?
Sniper Mask is great.
I love him.
From the start of the show, he was already very cool and very fun. And then once he starts getting more of his humanity back, he becomes much more of an interesting, unique, and complicated character. And I realized as I was watching this show, I was trying to figure out what it was specifically about Sniper Mask that was so endearing to me.
He made an awful joke last night.
So, I'm going to reference a show that we have not yet discussed, but believe me, it's only a matter of when, not if.
Yes.
Oh boy.
In the show Akudama Drive, Jonah Scott plays Courier.
Yep.
And Courier is basically an action movie cool guy superstar who has a foul mouth, but also is a cool guy who doesn't look at explosions.
Speaking of shows that Amon should watch that he probably needs to find time for at some point, yes, Akudama is one.
I know.
I know. I'm just throwing that out there, but I know you know.
But people are more familiar with Jonah Scott's work as his breakout role as Legacy in Beastars, where Legacy is a very strong, powerful, lanky, but very socially awkward and reserved boy that's trying to fight his own urges.
Yep.
So, here is what Jonah Scott as Sniper Mask actually is. Sniper Mask is not Courier, but he is in fact Legacy trying to play Courier. Which means that Sniper Mask is not actually the cool guy action movie superstar. He's really the fucking awkward asshole who's trying to be the cool guy superstar, succeeding and not knowing where the fuck to go from here.
Yeah, they make a point in the show where apparently Sniper Mask and Rika have been playing this game about who will live the cooler way of life. It becomes a thing that Sniper Mask remembers in his fight with Whitefeather.
You can tell that Sniper Mask is trying to play a cool guy instead of actually be a cool guy because he's got a fucking fedora on.
I still love him.
Oh, I do too. But
I still love him.
But every time, the more I watch the show, I'm like, oh, you're just the fucking awkward loser who thinks he's cool, but actually is somehow It's like
he inadvertently succeeds at it.
He's not naturally cool. He
accidentally
stumbles
is.
his way into being cool and being hot and getting all the bitches and literally just being like, how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah, basically. Jesus Christ. Amon, please tell me you have thoughts on Jonah.
Jonah's great. He's playing he's playing a character who is playing a character.
Yes.
But I think the thing that works is he does come off as sincerely cool a lot of the time. Like, I would definitely want Sniper Mask in my corner. He, if not doesn't know what's going on, at least seems to have some semblance of an idea of what we should be doing amongst all this nonsense.
He's the one who is the most level-headed in Yuri's group, weirdly enough.
While simultaneously having the biggest handicap in that he's fucking afraid of heights.
Yeah!
Poor bastard.
Like, we don't even find out that he's afraid of heights until his fight with Whitefeather, which is the funniest shit.
And he's like, oh shit, what do I do? What do I do? And then he's like, wait, I gotta be cool. And then he just points to his head.
Yeah, what would Rika say?
Don't knock me off.
Just
aim for the forehead.
And then by the time he's done and he gets off of the broken suspension bridge, he's on the building, he's like, oh, that was good, but that was also kind of scary.
He's the type that will unironically say, like, Shadow the Hedgehog meme lines, be like, heh, nothing personal, kid.
Oh, boy.
God. Oh my god, now I'm just imagining a fucking Sniper Mask AMV with the fucking Shadow the Hedgehog theme song.
I hate you so much right now.
Stop. Unleash a million faces, and one by one they fall. Black-hearted
Andrew,
evil,
I swear to God, if this episode gets hit for copyright, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I am all
Andrew, I swear to God.
What has happened?
He's trying to sing copyright shit. He's grabbed my hand and he's holding it. I'm like, you bitch, you need to fucking stop. We're gonna get hit for copyright. You keep this shit up.
Anyways, can somebody please get me Sniper Mask hanging out with Shadow the Hedgehog and them being like cool fucking dorks.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Anyways, Jonah Scott's great.
I love Jonah. Inadvertently, he's probably my favorite performance in the show. I won't front. He's probably my favorite in the show.
Honestly, it's tied with either Jonah and Zeno, so that checks out for me.
Yeah, I'd say so. Anybody else have thoughts on these two? Is there any other thoughts on the boys, or are we ready to move on to the ladies?
They're good boys. Let's talk about some very good girls.
Okay. We have 3 characters left, but we're going to talk about 2 of them first. So we have Mayuko, Nisei, and Kuan Shinzaki. So Mayuko we are introduced to rather early on. Yuri runs into her in a building. Mayu just wants to try and get the fuck out of Dodge. And then Mayu ends up having feelings for Yuri, basically. Like,
she pushed her out of the way once, and then she was in Lesbians with her.
Yes. Basically. But another key point in Mayuko's character is, we mentioned it earlier when we were talking about Alex Leah's rider mask, actually. Mayuko ends up putting on the defective mask that she got from Kellen Goff, aka Chef Mask, and she ends up becoming an angel herself.
Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask.
Bro, shut the fuck up. As for Kuan, we are introduced to Kuan relatively early as well. However, she is mostly tied to Sniper Mask. Kuan is our first introduction to the ones who are closer to God. It's a very early introduction to that aspect of the show. And Kuan, she's not much of a fighter. She's very, very timid and scared about shit. However, you fuck her shit up, she will shoot you with her goddamn railgun. Because there is in the center of this whole place, there's a huge fucking tower, and apparently it's a railgun, and Kuan's the only one who is closer to God that can fucking use it. And now everybody fucking wants it, i.e. Aikawa.
She has the ability to rail, but all she wants is to be railed by Sniper Mask.
Okay, buddy.
I swear to God. I was going to bring up that fact. But yeah, it's very clear that Kuan has a thing for Sniper Mask. It is also possibly implied by the end of the show that her and Sniper Mask are now on the same wavelength, so now she has control of Sniper Mask. It is very possible,
or at
but
least
it's
the
not...
ability to control it.
Yes, it is possible, but it's not confirmed 100%. But based on that last scene where they're like on the rooftop,
I was
just chilling, and like they suddenly have like the same thoughts and feelings about each other, and then, all right, you need to explain this.
Okay, so there's like literally there's a point where it's like she's staring at him, and she like feels like. She feels his emotions about how she doesn't want her to get hurt, and he wants to protect her and all that. And I'm joking, I'm like, oh my god, is she gonna, like, imagine herself, like, getting married to him?
And then,
like, literal seconds later, I hear the church bells, and they're fucking in a white dress! And I'm like, yeah! I love several times in the show, I'm joking about, oh man, wouldn't it be funny if they did this thing? And they do the thing. Like, my favorite one was when I see, like, fucking Yuri's being stupid and shooting the fucking helicopter. I'm like, bitch, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And, like, you know what's gonna happen? Someone's gonna, like, pull out a gun and shoot you from the helicopter. And sure enough, that's what happens!
Yeah. Again, this show knows what it fucking is. It knows what it fucking is. Anyway. Our lovely ladies voicing these two characters. As Kuan Shinzaki, we have Stephanie Shea, who has voiced characters such as Mikuru Asahina in The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Suzy Q in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and Nagi Aiza in Your Line April. As for Mayuko Nisei, is a name that we don't really have come up very often. Jeannie Kuan. She has voiced characters such as Sakuya in Eureka 7, Nori Sakurada in Rose and Maiden, and I know Amon's probably gonna appreciate this. She also voiced Satoko Hojo in the original dub for Higurashi no Naku Koroni.
Was that the Bang Zoom or
the Geneon?
Geneon, that's
the
what
Geneon one from back in the day.
The real old one.
The real old one.
Got it. Okay.
So, all right, boys, how do we feel about these ladies?
Andrew, you like a disaster lesbian. You said so.
Yes, I do. And throwing your disaster lesbian into your fucking death battle anime, and not only do you not fridge her or make her an obsessive yandere, you make her an actually fun, compelling character where I'm actually rooting for her to win her reflections of Yuri. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, the fucking disaster lesbian's in love with Yuri. Fuck! Fuck!
This show does know what it is.
Are you fucking kidding me?
We keep telling you, it knows exactly what the fuck it's doing.
Oh my god!
Remember, by the end of the show, they're holding hands.
I can't fucking believe I went all this time and I didn't piece together that the fucking disaster lesbian is in love with Yuri! Ah!
While he's dying inside, I'd say, okay, so Jeannie or Jenny, I'm sorry, I can't figure out names well. So, Mayu is very interesting. I don't know if it's a personal preference thing for me or what happened. There were moments where Mayu's performance kind of fell flat, line reads kind of fell flat, weirdly enough, for me. But for the most part, I loved it. Every time she went like, oh, blushy, ooh, woo, Yuri's my girlfriend. Like, that was fun. That was fun. And then her alter ego, because Jeannie also has to play the mask programming that's inside of Mayu as well. I thought that went really well. There were just a few line reads here and there for Mayuko that kind of fell flat to me. I don't know if the same could be said from the two of you. But I think that's just my personal preference, I think. But, I don't know. What do you guys think?
She's got a couple of awkward line deliveries. I'm not going to deny that, but I think she definitely gets the heart of what this character is.
She knows
getting
100%. Again, the whole cast fucking understood the assignment. Like, I'm not discrediting her on that one. They understood the assignment.
Anyways, to answer your question, before I had my freak out revelation, yes, Amon, I do appreciate a disaster lesbian.
More thoughts. Bring them out in the open. Let's go.
Jenny's just a lot of fun. Like, I don't know if I put, like, Mayuko down as, like, great representations of queer people in anime list or anything like that. But,
no,
like,
I doubt that.
No, but she's, like, given the show she's in, she is treated astonishingly well.
No, yeah.
Like, and I think Jenny just has a lot of fun with her. She's very funny. And I know, quote-unquote, she's good at the quote-unquote serious parts of Mayuko's character, which, you know, I mean, if you watch the show, you'll get a sense of what the serious...
The air quote, yeah.
Serious.
Yeah.
But I think she delivers that with a good amount of, like, pathos and energy, which I think is kind of what you need for something like this. It's not necessarily about being, like, really dramatically valid. It's almost just more like, I believe the character believes this. And if I can believe that, like, good.
Right.
That's all I need.
No, for sure.
She's a hoot, and...
Are we slowly shifting into our other disaster?
Oh,
our disaster hetero.
So we have the disaster lesbian and the disaster heterosexual,
Yeah.
Kuan could have been really fucking annoying.
Oh, 100%.
Like, she could have been so goddamn annoying, and you know, on a certain level, no shock, Stephanie Sheh avoided that because she's Stephanie Sheh, and she knows how to play these characters and make them, you know, entertaining. Interesting.
Palatable.
At the very her basement is palatable. Like, she can at least do that. And there's enough to Kuan that I think she was able to, like, get in there and, like, make a turn in a really fun performance for this character.
No, Stephanie definitely has some fun moments as Kuan. Not just when she's disaster heterosexual for Sniper Mask, but, like, she has her badass moments. Like, the fact that it's when it's revealed that she's the one who's firing the fucking railgun. That was fun.
How did she survive before that? Or before Sniper Mask?
Well, okay. So, I believe it was stated early on when we're introduced to Kuan that when she woke up, she found one of the faceless masks, right?
Okay.
Or the mouthless mask, excuse me. And she put it on, and she early on unlocked the ability for as the one closer to God, unlocked the ability for other masks to not attack her.
Okay, that would do it.
Because remember, Sniper Mask was going to kill her, but the mask told him, don't do that. She is one closer to God. So she just can't be attacked at all. So, and I think, I could be wrong in how that happened in the first place, but, in how she originally was given a mouthless mask from the get-go. I think the same could be kind of said for Rukia Yoshida. He found one right off the bat as well, but he doesn't have that ability. Because depending on the person who is closer to God, they can unlock certain abilities at different times, depending on their aptitude and their compatibility. So nobody's gonna unlock the same abilities at the same fucking time.
Oh god, I just realized what song would be perfect for Kuan and Sniper Mask.
Oh no.
Shot through the heart, and you're too
Stop!
late.
We're gonna get copywritten
You
again.
get love.
Stop! Stop, you fucking ass!
If it is any condolence, I don't think the copyright bots are smart enough to recognize off-tune acapella renditions.
I ain't gonna fucking
I
risk
will
that.
object to Bon Jovi, though.
Wait! Why you gotta be like that, bud?
Bon Jovi are not terrible. I simply do not care for them, and they are very popular. So I just hear it a lot, even though it's like
God.
I'm not in the mood for Bon Jovi right now.
Wait,
Cease.
Amon. Did I just hear a music hipster take from you?
It's Alma, what do you fucking expect?
Andrew, let us know. I am a music hipster. I simply take very little joy in being an asshole to people.
It's like, exactly.
We've known Amon for like... I've known Amon for like a decade. You've known him for less.
You contain
your bile so well that I don't even know it's there sometimes. So when it comes out, I'm genuinely shocked.
Well, I do not care for Bon Jovi. What do I achieve by telling people who are enjoying Bon Jovi-ness? Let them enjoy their band. They are not hurting anyone.
As long as you're not an asshole. That's all that matters.
There's no reason to be a dick to people because they enjoy something. I see no point in that. That's just being cruel.
But anyway, back to the conversation. In terms of unlocking powers, for fucking people close to the god. Because, like, you have Kuan, who unlocked the ability to use the fucking railgun. You have Aohara, who could control masks, but also at the last fucking minute could tell them to, like, not move for a hot second, and it actually kind of comes in handy for a small second. You have Aikawa, who can control up to 30 masks, and that's the extent of what we know of with him. You have Rukia Yoshida, who can also control masks, up to 5 of them. And then you have Yuri,
who just becomes Ultra Instinct.
Yeah.
She gets Ultra Instinct. That's
at the start, and then towards the last episode, she out of nowhere unlocks the ability to control masks, and she takes control of Great Angel. But yeah, again, the abilities of the ones closer to God kind of like unlock at their own pace, depending on who's compatible with what.
Boy, this death battle anime is a lot more shonen than I expected.
Welcome to High Rise Invasion. Let's see. Any other fun thoughts about Jenny and Stephanie?
Stephanie's very good. She's very familiar with a character like Kuan, so it's definitely something she's familiar with.
No, yeah, I'm 100% in agreement with Amon that Kuan could have been handled so poorly, so easily, and it's Stephanie Shea. She handles these types of characters masterfully at this point.
Also, I know we've talked about the fact that a show that could have been as aggressively horny and, like, schlocky as it did is surprisingly tactful, where it's like, Kuan's a particularly busty girl, and I don't even think they even put her in a scene of a state of undress.
No,
I was impressed.
No, yeah.
We do get a very firm shot of Yuri's firm ass at one point.
And for the majority of the season of the show, Mayuko just has ripped shirts, so bra's always showing. So
I'm like, okay, I'm shocked Kuan is surprisingly Christian tact.
Again, part of that goes back to the fact that she can't be attacked by other masks anyway, so.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. I figured the show would have been way hornier with her. I'm not saying the show's not horny. It's still pretty horny, but, like, my standards are so low for Death Battle game that I assumed that there was going to be way more sexual assault and, like, flapping titties than there actually was. So consider me impressed.
Yep. Surprise.
We are benefiting from the fact that this comic, I think, is made by people who are kind of horny, but they're more horny for, like, strong women in weird outfits.
Yeah,
and so these characters are not going to be the focus of that.
It's a lot more Oni-chanbara than it is, like, some other stuff.
Hence probably Yayoi. Because there are a lot of butt shots for Yayoi as well. She does have them curves.
Like, there's a fair conversation. Is the show actually better than you think it is at this stuff, or is the bar just that low? There's a conversation for
No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
The bar may be that low, but I'm giving praise where it is. Anyways, Stephanie's good as Kuan, and Jenny Kuan is a ton of fun playing the disaster tsundere lesbian, and I enjoy them both.
Any other thoughts, feelings about these two?
Delightful.
Delightful.
Put that on the back of the box. Delightful.
Delightful. Amon Duel Dub Talk Podcast. We're back to the box jokes with you.
I love coming up with weird, shitty advertising. It's one of my favorite things to do.
I mean, it's great marketing, right?
Put it on a poster where someone's being murdered in a horribly violent way. It'd be great.
I mean,
how quaint. Amon Duel.
I mean, we've been quoted for a fucking show that Coach of Sound did, I think.
Right, yeah, we're quoted on Coach of Sound's website for I Know Kusabi. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we are quoted on that. Fun fact. Also, thanks, Coach. We love you. Anything else before we move on to our wonderful friend Yuri Honjo?
I'm good.
Okay. Yuri Honjo is our lead character for High Rise Invasion. She's a high school student in a sailor uniform, because apparently that's pointed out several times in the show. And she's she's the most wonky thing in the world. She's so flip-floppy, it's not even funny. But her goal is to basically escape this world and destroy this world without trying to cause a fuck ton of harm, to which she kind of can do a little bit. She ends up becoming one who's closer to God in an attempt to save Mayu when she suddenly goes into hibernation. That's actually introduction where we learn about hibernation, how that process works. But Yuri's, after she becomes one closer to God, is fucking Super Saiyan Beast Ultra Instinct kind of horseshit. So that's a thing. And she has a brother complex. We're gonna say that right the fuck now. She has a brother complex because if y'all touch Rika, you're fucking dead. But anyway, who is voicing Yuri Honjo? That would be Susie Young. She has voiced characters such as Mayumi Dojima in Pretty Boy Detective Club, Kumiko Yamamura in Josie the Tiger and the Fish. She is the Josie in this show, in the film. A lot of fun, by the way. And we have a triple threat. She's Kaban, Lucky Beast, and Mirai in Kimono Friends. That was her first anime role, if I remember correctly. So Yuri Honjo.
I can't tell what her morals are.
It's hard to tell. Again, Yuri's so flip-floppy as a character. It's gives you whiplash.
I don't want to kill anyone. I don't want to kill any of the masks, even though they're people. And then, like, 3-4 episodes later, she's basically just going commando, like straight up, just fucking gunning these fuckers down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to corrupt myself, or fuck this world, or I will kill this world, or I don't understand what her goal is. Her goal is just to be a much more... She doesn't give into despair. She's basically just an action movie hero with a shonen protagonist, like, shell.
Yeah, kind of, actually. That's
because she's got that level of like Makoto Naegi, don't give up hope, don't give into despair vibes.
Right.
But she's also just a fucking action movie like Ultra Instinct superstar. And I also love how she's a terrible actress. Not Susie. Not Susie, but Yuri. Where she is legitimately a terrible actress and she's trying to like basically fake out people a couple of times where she's trying to be this bad, evil actress.
Mostly Alhada. She's trying to be intimidating as all fucking hell. Especially, I mean, that's Tanabe's fault, so... that's Tanabe's fault that she got kind of stuck with that. But no, anyway. Susie.
Oh, she's delightful. I love her deliveries as, Yuri, especially in like the later episodes where she gets a lot more goofy and like violent, I'll fucking kill you vibes.
Once again, she understood the assignment.
God, you know what this show... Here's an actual criticism for the dub. You know what this show needed?
What?
F-bombs.
It's very clean, isn't it, now that I think about it?
It is!
Not a lot of swearing.
Yeah, there's not a lot of swearing. That's actually kind of... And for a Netflix show of all things, too, actually.
Like...
Huh, you're right.
Like... Okay, I'm gonna say if, but it's when. Mm-hmm. When Season 2 drops...
Right.
You have the express written permission and consent of the Dub Talk podcast.
Do you really think they're gonna listen to us on this one?
You never know. Anyways, you're allowed to... We say... Drop a couple of F-bombs, swears. You know what High-Rise Invasion's about at this point. We all know what it's about at this point. Have fun.
The argument could also be made, though, is the reason why they went the more clean route than the cursing is because that is a pitfall that other shows similar in this genre do kind of fall into. Like, that's an argument you could possibly make, and that might be why they avoided that in the first place.
I'd argue when it's as goofy as this, swearing would just make it very fun.
Right, but then you also have the same shows in this genre that are stupid edgy as fuck and play it straight that do that, and it just makes it even worse. You know what I mean?
I have a compromise.
Okay.
Swearing, but it's all bleeped, because that feels like very in tone with this show.
Oh.
You know?
God, okay, there's a crazy idea.
I like that idea. Done.
It's not gonna happen, but I like the way you think, sir.
More thoughts on Susie. I loved her.
Oh, she's a ton of fun.
Oh, she's
and,
so much fun.
Like, she's a cool... Oh, I also love when she actually gets to see Sniper Mask's face, and she's like, wow, you're surprisingly hot.
She even fucking tells him to his face.
And she's, like, scared of... She's been scared of him for a while because she's like, oh, I threw a grenade at you.
No,
I'm
she was
sorry.
attacked by him early on. That's why
And,
she was scared of him.
yeah, then she's like, oh no, you're scary. But then she sees his face like, wow, you're hot.
It's like, you're fucking hot.
She kind of has no filter in that sense.
No.
Wait, don't put your mask back on. You're really hot.
Yeah, like, what? Like, she's like, oh, why? It's funny. It's very funny.
Anyways, like, look, Sniper Mask, Sniper's got his chamber cocked for another, but that...
Maybe not intentionally. He cares, but not to that extent.
Oh no, he's also cocked for Rika too. Let's face it.
See, if it's Rika, then that's another story.
Oh, so
I meant Kuan.
let's face it, Sniper Mask is a cool guy, but he strikes me as somebody who would play both ballparks. So does Yuri.
Fuck. Oh,
Yuri Honjo, Sniper Mask, bisexual representation. I am game for that.
Disaster bi. She borderlines disaster bi, let's be real.
Anyways, yeah, no, but I like Yuri. I think Susie does a really stellar job at making her sound like this big old dork and having a ton of fun being this fucking cool, violent action hero, too.
Yeah, because...
she's a ton of fun, and I think she nailed it.
Yeah, because Yuri flip-flops so easily with her morals and how she feels about shit. Like, it's a bit of whiplash, but Susie navigates it very, very well. Because, like, you could get very annoyed at a character like that who keeps flip-flopping, like, every 10 seconds. But I think Susie's delivery and her performance of Yuri as a character helps save that a bit and makes Yuri not only tolerable, but a lot more fun to listen to. Honestly. Amon, what do you think?
She's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like Yuri's weird. I'm not used to seeing anime this trashy that has female leads who get to be this active and ass kicking all the time.
Yeah.
Like usually I feel like they either tend to be really, really sexy or they're not actually the lead. And it's kind of fun to see her get to run around and be kind of a dumb shonen protagonist and fight people. I don't know. It just sounds like she's having a lot of fun playing this character. Like, we've said before, they understood the assignment, and I think she gets that it's like, yeah, she's a nice girl who doesn't want to hurt anybody.
But she will!
You know, that's because she doesn't want to hurt anybody doesn't mean she's not going to if she has to.
That is essentially the theme of today's episode. They understood the assignment.
Like, I don't want to hurt you, but I mean...
will.
My fist is clenched, and your face is so very punchable. What, am I gonna not punch you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't want to hurt you, but, like, I'm not gonna let you shoot me either. Let's be frank here.
Right.
Let's be friends, she says as she curb stomps them on the fucking roof.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Oh.
No, Susie is a delight. I love that she's been doing so much more lately, too.
Don't give in to despair, she says, as she violently shakes them to the point of giving them a fucking concussion.
No, Susie's a delight. I think there's a lot of personality with Yuri, and especially as a heroine who has to carry the show in a weird fucking circumstance like this. I think Susie, like, navigates all of those, like, wonderfully, and I love her performance as Yuri. It's so much fun. Yuri can be both a badass, a damsel in distress, and just a complete fucking moron. Like, it's great. I love it. Anything else for Susie and Yuri Honjo? No?
I'm good. I'm ready to take this to final
Yeah,
thoughts.
she's a lot of fun. I'm glad she gets to be the lead in this. This is a fun role.
Yeah. It's so fun. It's so much fun. Alright. So, let's move on then to final thoughts on the dub for High Rise Invasion. Who wants to go first?
I can't believe I like this show.
That's the summary for him. Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
That's where I'm at, is like, it's not only just that, like, it's watchable, I actually enjoyed it. I cannot believe that.
Yep.
I was so convinced, and I feel like even the Netflix marketing was so convinced this was gonna be the edgy, trashy shit that all the edgelords, like, fucking chomp at. And, like, chew at. It's felt it. But, no. The more I'm talking about it, the more I see where you could have made a much worse show.
Right.
And it's not, it's silly. It's having fun with its premise. It's shockingly not as fatalistic, edgy, or crude to provoke, like, aggressive hyper-violence or, like, sexual assault at its beck and call because it doesn't have better things to write. It has better things to write. It has dumb, fun, stupid, shonen-powered action scenes to do. And it's having fun.
Yep.
And the dub. I think the first few episodes are definitely its biggest weakness as far as the adaptation not quite adjusting to what the show is supposed to be at that point.
So
I felt
growing pains is what you're saying.
it had major growing pains for
Okay.
me in the first 2 or so episodes.
Gotcha.
But I feel like by the end of it, the script loosens enough to the where it feels like it's having fun, and the cast is having a fucking ball at how wacky and silly this is, and a couple of them, like, were really standouts. And I've been very impressed with SDI's media Splice Bread's output over the past year or so, especially improving, like B-Star Season 2. I felt like Season 1 was very strong with, like, a couple of, like, quirks, but I feel like it really evolved into a much stronger, better sounding dub with Season 2. I've been really impressed with the studio's output this year, and I really hope they continue this level of, like, impressive quality for future dubs.
Okay.
I think they did a good job.
Alright, Amon, what are your final thoughts?
What a blast!
Yes.
This is very much up my wheelhouse of just dumb, like, violent grindhouse nonsense that technically doesn't. There's a filmmaker I like who I think someone asked him, like, why one of his movies was set on, like, a tropical island, and he's like, well, if people are gonna give you a lot of money to shoot a zombie movie, why not set it on a tropical island? And there's a certain, like, I don't know, this feels very simpatico with that attitude of, like, why not have fun?
Yeah, pretty much.
Why not have fun?
Yeah.
Why be look at King's Game? That's grim and boring, and no one enjoys it. Why not be fun?
I know, right?
And that's what I appreciate about this show is that it's not afraid to just be kind of silly on its face, and be like, no, the Anonymous Master are way more interesting if we make one like, hey, this guy's a pitcher, and he pitches cannonballs at people that will, like, cleave your head off.
Oh yeah, it's absurdist. It's great.
And we can have this as a setup so that this guy can play baseball with him with a sledgehammer. Sure.
Why the fuck not?
And I appreciate that the dub very much like gets this as well, and is like, oh yeah, we can just really amp this up and be really silly, and that's fine because that's what the show is.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. There's too much bad schlock that doesn't understand that, like, no, this is kind of dumb, and you need to embrace the dumb, or you're just gonna be really tiresome. Yeah, this is like, if you're not, are you enjoying Squid Game? I haven't actually seen Squid Game, but apparently that's very popular. Like, I feel like, are you enjoying that? You'll probably get a kick out of this. Like,
Yep.
it's the silly version of that concept. Are you someone who wishes Danganronpa took itself a little less seriously?
What?
Oh!
What?
You know,
That's
you know,
a take
you
that
know,
he's
you know,
done
no, I'm
there.
gonna walk that one back.
Please
Danganronpa.
do! Motherfucker! Wow, I'm offended.
In my defense, I've only ever actually played the first game, which completely absurd, true, but I'm sure there are pits I've yet to encounter that are even sillier.
Oh, buddy, you don't even know.
Oh.
Yeah, one day. I have all of them, I just haven't gotten around to playing them. Anyways, my point is, fun. This is a fun dub for a fun, weird, goofy show that's maybe, like, not for everybody, but, like, if you feel like you're gonna enjoy this, give it a shot. It's a lot. It seems like a lot more fun than you probably will think it'd be.
No, yeah. Again, when we were talking about, like, cleaning up our master chart, because it's fucking clogged up all the hell, and I was like, hey, would anyone want to do high-rise invasion? Stupid question. Instantly, the fact that you respond, I'm like, oh, he's gonna be in for a fun time. Like, you and I are on the same wavelength when it comes to, like, some of the, like, grindhouse weird-ass bullshit like this. It's awesome. Anyway, so the theme of today's episode is they understood the assignment. And this is bold choice of words coming from me. This is probably my favorite show in the battle royale fucking death game genre. I'm not kidding. Because of the fact that it doesn't take itself so seriously. Because I've watched Future Diary, Darwin's Game, and King's Game. And those are fucking either god-awful or, like, boring at best. I.e. Darwin's Game. But this one, it doesn't take itself too seriously. And I think that's the saving grace of the show itself. Is that it knows exactly what it is, and it's just gonna, like, camp it up to the nth degree, and that makes it so much more enjoyable. The dub itself, again, they understood the assignment. They had such a fun time creating this weird-ass show for an English-speaking audience. The casting is so much fun, with some hilarious and outstanding, like, one-off performances from some folks, like Kellen Goff and Bryce and fucking Kyle McCarley, and even Alex Lee and some of the other mask wearers. Like, it's... And fucking the dunce named Billy Komet's swimmer as well. We can't forget him. There's just some really fun, outlandish performances, but it's still contained enough to make it not... It doesn't overdo it to make it just so awful. It's a good kind of bad, if that makes sense. This is a good kind of bad. And the dub is just so hilarious. It's so much fun to watch. And just, like, if you are into grindhousey B-movie shit, like I can be, like Amon usually is, please go and watch the show. Like, it is an easy marathon because of how silly it can get. And just, the dub is so much fun.
It's good popcorn fun.
It's good popcorn fun. Like, this is not going to be, like...
It's not going to set the world on fire, but
it's not going to be, like, intriguing, or you're going to have an epiphany moment like, oh my god, it's not going to be too deep, if that makes sense. So, this is good popcorn fun. It knows that, and the dub was made to reflect that, and I think they did a really good job over at SDI.
My expectations were shockingly low, and this has far exceeded what I could have expected.
He went in such low expectations, it's not even funny. But no, please, go and watch this show. And if you do decide to watch this show, the only place you can find it currently is on Netflix. It is a Netflix exclusive show. At the time of this recording, no home video release has been announced. It is possible it could happen in the future, only because there have been Netflix properties that do end up getting home video releases.
It's also possible it could get redubbed for home video.
It is also possible it could get redubbed, considering there are two shows in particular that are very weird circumstances, but I digress. But if you don't have Netflix, the manga, as we stated at the top of the episode, is actually available. The manga for High Rise Invasion is available from Seven Seas Entertainment, and as Amon pointed out, as funnily enough, there are 21 volumes total. The last volume was actually released at the time of recording this 3 days ago. But, yeah, oddly enough. The sequel manga High Rise Invasion Arrive has not been licensed at the time of this. However, considering the original manga did just finish in the States, it is possible, probably depending on sales numbers of the original manga, that Seven Seas could pick up the sequel manga and license it and bring it to the States as well. So, it's possible. But, yeah, that's currently the only way you can get to see or read High Rise Invasion is either with Netflix for the show or the manga through Seven Seas. As for us here at Dub Talk, if you like what we do here and you're interested in hearing more from us, you can follow us on either YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Podbean. We put new episodes up every Fridays at the time of this recording now. We switched our release date. And yeah, please go follow us on those platforms and like what we do. Like, tell us if we're stupid, I guess. I don't know.
We are.
We are stupid sometimes. You can also follow us on various social media platforms. You can follow us on Twitter and Twitch at dubtalkpodcast. We also, at the time of recording this episode, we had recently started a second YouTube channel where our gaming stream archives from Twitch are being navigated over. Twitch, Dubtalk Gaming. The link for that channel will be in the description of the YouTube video, as well as hopefully the description of the Spotify, Podbean, and Apple Podcast versions. Those have been a lot of fun. We've been having fun streaming on Twitch lately, because at the time of recording this, Amon's been playing Psychonauts, and Andrew and I have been playing Gris. Obviously those games will likely change by the time this episode goes live, so just come on over to Twitch. We have a fun time there. As for you gentlemen, so my name is Stephanie, I'm also sometimes known on the internet as Lilac. You can follow me on Twitter at Lilac Anime Review, with review being spelled R-E-V-U-E. I also have a blog, lifeandtimesotaku.wordpress.com, that is severely out of date at this stage. But you can check it out if you want. Amon, well, actually I have to save him last, because of course I do. Andrew, aka Classy Spartan, you can follow him on Twitter at MangaMan9000. He also is a forum moderator for the
Discord server moderator. Forums are kind of dying, which sucks.
Shut the fuck up, I know what I'm talking about. He is a moderator for the Funimation Discord, so you can hang with him there, and he's also a co-host on Surreal Resolutions podcast O&A, along with fellow Dub Talk cohort Jet. And as for Amon, you can follow him on Twitter at, I almost said YouTube, my brain blanked for a second. You can follow him on Twitter at AmonDuel US, Duel having 2 U's. He's also been doing fun stuff as well, again, the Twitch and all that kind of stuff. But of course, we can't leave this episode, and because it's Amon, and because Andrew was basically almost insulting him with music takes and shit. Good.
Now, calling me a hipster is accurate. I may not like that fact, but that doesn't make it less true.
Good sir, will you please give us a dusty old song for High Rise Invasion?
Certainly. Because it's called High Rise Invasion, it keeps putting me in mind of the J.G. Ballard novel High Rise, which doesn't have a lot to do with this other than also about being dystopic violent things happening in a high-rise building.
Yeah.
But it does remind me of 2 things. One, there's a movie adaptation of High Rise that came out a few years ago with Tom Hiddleston in it. It's very good. You should go check it out.
Okay.
And very memorable to me, it ends with a song by British post-punk band The Fall called Industrial Estate, which I enjoy because I like recommending The Fall to people because they have the worst singer ever.
Oh!
No.
Wow,
Their singer is also the only consistent band member.
That took a turn I didn't expect.
Let us note, I say worst singer with an extreme amount of affection. I would die for Marky Smith. He's dead currently, so I can't do that anymore, but I would die for Marky Smith.
This is a turn I didn't expect.
It is a great song if you're me. Let's put it that way. But what it also puts me in mind is due to I have an association of that book due to a blog I used to read with another song, which is someone notes that a year prior to that book coming out, there was a song that came out that seemed to match its kind of weird dystopic mood that was very much the state of Britain in the early 70s. So I'm going to recommend that song, which is Diamond Dogs by David Bowie. That song is great.
Nice.
Fun fact, at the beginning of it, there's some sort of cheering and crowd noises, which apparently was stolen illegally from a live album by The Faces, and as a consequence, if you listen closely, you can hear Rod Stewart going woo at one point.
Wow. That's amazing!
It's right at the beginning. If you fire up on like Spotify or YouTube, it'll be very early on, and you get a great song out of it, because that song is awesome.
That's awesome.
So go listen to that, get cultured.
Awesome. So before I forget again, because I'm staring at it in front of my face, if you really, really love what we do at Dub Talk and you want to support us in a different capacity, because I'm dumb and I almost forgot to say this before, So
it's right in front of you. How did you miss that?
Shut up. If you want to, we do have both a Ko-fi account as well as a Patreon account. Ko-fi for one-time donations if you want to buy us a coffee. And Patreon, to which we have to thank our wonderful patrons who help make things like us paying for an RSS feed fucking possible.
This episode paid for by viewers like you.
Thank you. So we have our $5 patrons, Megan's mom and dad. Hi, Megan's mom and dad.
Hi.
Hi. Michelle Travis, Miraculous Corazon, Nico Robin, but with Yowie hands, aka it's just fucking Jackson. We love you, bro. We love you, man. Sue Tweets and Victor May Borida. And then our $10 tier, we have Carly Lesticow, Crimson Akinda, Jacob Wilson, Jared Hawkins, Julia W., Marissa Lenti, Millicent Sorby, and Otaku Anthony. Again, thank you, and I apologize for almost completely missing that. But that should be everything for today. Guys, are you nobody's scared of heights still here, right?
Oh God!
I mean, I'm okay with heights if there's something to stop me from falling. But if it's just kind of, whatever, like...
I mean, the pavement could stop you from falling, but it might not look pretty for you.
That's not the kind of stopping I was looking for, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, you were hoping for, like, gym mats or, like, a frickin' inflatable cushion or something.
I was thinking more of a wall, so I don't fall in the first place. Once I'm plummeting, I've kind of given up hope at that point.
I like the sound of a wall.
Guys, are we supposed to walk on the ground? Because I think I just stepped over the side, and I think I keep falling.
Wow, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, this got dark.
Oh, crap. I'm gonna have a fun time affording this apartment now. Oh, boy. What do I tell my cat?
I'm not dead yet!
I'm sorry, you're trying to commit to a random bit that I'm trying to make. And I don't know how I feel about this now.
Otaku.
Rock over Boston, rock over Chicago.
Thanks for listening, guys. Otaku on, and have a good night. Bye.
Ugh.